Comic Timing is member supported by listeners like you over at patreon.com/comic timing. We thank you so much for your continued support of the show in any way that you can give it. For as little as $1 a month, you can join up on the Patreon and get in on some diary entries, some extra content, some extra videos, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And we thank people like Dan Papatopoulos, which is a very fun name to say, Sean Lynn, Timothy Riffenberg, and Damon Rell for joining the Patreon. And we thank the rest of you as well over at patreon.com/comic timing. Hey there, folks. My name's Ian Levinstein, and welcome to episode 224 of Comic Timing. And we're back with the main crew for this one, Mr. Casina. I will introduce you first, Mr. Co-host. You get that pleasure, you get that right, you get that privilege.
Don't run, don't blink. This is the main Comics Timing crew on your audio feed.
Do not adjust your sets.
There's been a lot of guests in a while.
Yes.
Please don't run if you came for those other guys.
It's a rotating panel discussion podcast, and it once again...
I don't want the new people to be scared that we're not the other voices.
But to be fair, most of them were already listening to us in one way or the other in other forms, and now they just have
forced it upon them. Now they choose to.
Exactly. Now they choose to. At least I certainly hope you do, and if that's the case, thank you very much for continuing to listen to the show. Kris is here as well. Hey, Kris.
Hello. Welcome back, everybody. You know.
Yes.
I don't know what to say. It is hot. It is the devil's armpit in New York City right now. So,
feels like temperature at like 8:30 is still like 90. So that's the type of life that we're living at the moment. Brandon Christopher, you're probably comparable, more than likely, because you're in Pennsylvania.
God, I am a melting puddle of shit today. Oh my God.
And that's what we're going to call you for the rest of the episode, a melting pile of shit, Brandon Christopher. That's absolutely the way that we want you to be thought about on this show. Absolutely.
Honestly, and we changed his name on the Zoom.
Not the worst thing I've ever been called before.
Mr. Jamal Eigel, back from for another episode.
Hello.
And of course, the man who we will be starting off with in general here as we go San Diego Comic-Con news first, and then get ourselves into our spoilery review of Deadpool and Wolverine, as all of us have seen that movie as well, and we'll be discussing it. The one and only Donovan Morgan Grant, back from San Diego Comic-Con, and somehow dodging the many people that I've seen come down with COVID since then. So what's up, Donovan?
Yes, back for revenge. Well, I mean, like I had massive shoulder strain, so that was my compromise, which I have since recovered. But yeah, I did see that people were getting sick, and there's always con crud, and now there's like the COVID to be aware of. So fingers crossed, but hopefully, so far I make it through the rest of this podcast without some strange new disease coming on.
Hopefully. But nonetheless, we will start off with San Diego Comic-Con news. Of course, the big announcement from San Diego Comic-Con, 14 people arrested in Comic-Con human trafficking.
Yeah, what is up with that? Oh my God.
Okay, so if you want me to actually explain that, it's because large events like Comic-Con and the Super Bowl have a lot of people checking in and out of hotel rooms and meeting up. So the usual like shady behavior that would surround human trafficking goes unnoticed because, the staff that is trained to look out for it, their attention is a little divided. So that's probably what this is. They said in the article I sent you guys that, they are taking advantage of the fact that like it's this large event now. So I guess we've made it. Yay.
Woo!
Yeah, it doesn't exactly like break the stereotype, does it?
No, it doesn't. No, God.
Luckily, these 14 people were caught. Victims were recovered. It's a crazy ass thing. That's of course not really what we're going to be talking about that much in this episode, but I'm glad to see that whatever was happening was resolved. Donovan, you were on the scene. Not dealing with that shit. You were dealing with actual San Diego Comic-Con stuff. And first off, I'd like to see your general thoughts on this year's con, as someone who's been to many of them before. How'd this one live up? How'd 2024 do for you?
Another con in the bag. working for DC, I stuck mainly with the DC announcements, the DC panels. I was interviewing some creators, and to prepare for some of the work I was doing, I caught up with DC, so, and I like a lot of what's going on without getting too much into it. A lot of the craziest announcements kind of caught me, like, when my back was turned, such as, like, the Hall H Marvel announcements and such. In terms of the overall vibes, I do think that, like, last year, and I was at a lot of cons last year. I was at C2E2, I was at NYCC, I was at SDCC, and so far, it might end up for me this being the only one I'm going to this year, possibly.
Yeah.
And it seemed fine, but because I think there has been a comparative dearth of comic book content compared to last time.
I will mention that since you did mention DC stuff, and obviously we'll get everybody's thoughts on this one way or the other, I'd say one of the biggest bits of news outside of book announcements was the fact that DC Comics got its old logo back. Yeah, the
Bullets, baby.
Milton Glaser designed logo is officially the logo for DC and also for DC Studios moving forward. I'd say that's actually much larger news than most logo changes would be, as it's going back to one that honestly should have never changed in the first place.
Yeah,
No,
I mean, let's
absolutely agree.
let Jamal talk. Go, Jamal.
No, go ahead, Kris, please.
Well, what I was going to say is, like, Milton Glaser, that right there, like, even if you're not in the fucking comic books, you see those name and you know it's going to be a good logo. Like, when we talk about classic Milton Glaser logos, we're also talking about I Heart New York and UPS. And those are logos that, UPS changed their logos like an idiot, but, I Love New York is still there. And, like, the fact that, like we said, they never should have changed it at all. And I know Jamal's going to bring in the legal thing, and I get that, but it's like, no, from a branding perspective, it's like when you have such a hit, something so iconic. Oh, yeah. And again, that even normies can, like, immediately grasp the significance of, they know what it means. And again, when design nerds are like, Milton Glaser, yeah. Yeah, you're the only person who would understand, like, graphic design.
Yeah. But I agree, it never should have been changed.
Oh, yeah.
And just like that announcement, seeing that on Twitter made my heart absolutely sore, because I'm the old guy on the podcast. That is the logo that I grew up with. That is the logo that I got my first work at DC under.
Stop it, Brent. Stop it.
This is my favorite logo.
The swoosh logo.
That's
of the new ones.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
But it's closer to the Glazer logo than the logos that have come after.
Yeah.
The legalese behind it is really kind of stupid, actually. So for the audience who isn't aware, DC Comics was attempted to sue DC Shoes because the DC Shoes logo it's not similar, but it's similar enough that they were afraid that it would cause brand confusion. During the course of the lawsuit, they discovered, both DC Comics and DC Shoes both discovered, that DC Comics never properly trademarked the Glazer logo for other products other than comic books. So DC Shoes countersued DC Comics for use of the logo. Now, enough time has passed that they've been able to legally register the logo for all sorts of products. And, DC and Warner Brothers is much more careful these days. Like, they just filed a whole bunch of trademark applications for the Kingdom Come, Now Superman, the Superman logo for the next movie. They filed something like 14 different trademark applications just this past week. Yeah. So we've got the bullet back. We've got the 4-star bullet.
Those two logos are the same?
No, they're not.
To me, they're completely different.
No, they are completely.
They're not that similar.
but they both use a star motif. They both have D and C connected to it, and as a character mark,
But that's a 7th
they're
pointed
different.
star.
Well, it's very confusing. Trademarks are confusing. So you can have a name mark, which is the name DC, and you can have a character mark, which is the particular logo for a particular product. So the character mark has to be very specific. You can have something similar. And I think one of DC Shoe's arguments in their case was that whenever the DC Comics logo is printed in black and white, it's black, white stars. It's, it might, and this was basically a spite house lawsuit.
Of course.
They were just basically doing this like, oh, you're gonna fuck with us, we're gonna fuck with you.
Yeah.
Slaps.
That's where they decided to change it for the swoosh first and then the peel was for the new 52.
The peel was easily the worst of the 3 new logos because
Absolutely.
It never even said comics to me because it was a peeling sticker.
The peel was designed for visual media, for moving visual media, moving pictures. It was designed to be similar to the Marvel logo marks, where they could put the images like you saw. They would put Superman, Batman, Green Arrow into the underneath the peel.
Right.
Like I get it, but it's bland as hell.
Yeah.
If I can come in, do you guys remember in the Nolan movies, the swoosh logo had a little animated thing like that?
The star went around it was an orbiting comet or something like that. A moon.
Yeah, and for that,
I think it was before the Marvel thing, maybe.
The swoosh logo had a lot of potential, and I felt like they gave up on that way too soon. And I don't know if it was because it also had a star in it, and they wanted to just, again, if it's related to the DC Shoes situation that also used a star, maybe they just wanted to get away from that entirely. But
no, I think that was more of a Diane Nelson initiative, like when she came in.
Okay,
brand managers always want to put their stamp on things, and I think that was part of her big push to sort of show, we're doing things completely differently now. We're introducing this whole new style and attitude.
Yeah,
we're introducing these new logos and everything. It's just, it's.
I just remember that's like the Infinite Crisis logo or post Infinite Crisis.
Yeah,
I remember. We're sophisticated and want to change. So here's a logo that barely looks like a D and barely looks like a C, and that we had to write DC Comics underneath for you to know what the fucking logo is. Like that's great. Right.
But as Kris was saying, it was designed, and I think particularly at the time, there was this. Well, not just for television, for film. I think there was an expectation that digital technology and the availability of digital devices was going to be much more prevalent for comics than it turned out to be. It's more prevalent than it was in 2011, but at the same time, we haven't had the full digital implementation that I think a lot of people were expecting and kind of counting on. I think it was kind of the same thing with Marvel AR. That just kind of died on the vine after a while because people didn't want to hold up their phones to see panels move.
Yep, that's true. Kris, where we gonna add?
Talking about the swishy logo from the 2000s, I remember a lot of the complaints when it first launched was that it looked too much like a toothpaste logo. And honestly, I don't blame them for wanting to get away with that because I feel like that joke never went away. And to be honest, as much as I like it, I know Brent's got his soft spot for it. I do kind of see it. It doesn't. It's a perfectly serviceable logo, but it also doesn't scream comics to me. It does scream minty fresh to me.
The one they had been rocking for the last 2 or 3 years just wasn't trying to me.
Right.
To me, that logo that we just got rid of looks more like the DC logo because it's a plain ass font, as opposed to the really try and fail of the peel and the 2000s ish swoosh, star swoosh. and the other one's just retro now. And if we're gonna stick with that, then let's stick with it. That's fine.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, Marvel's logo has never been anything other than like an M or specific
the Marvel
typeface.
comics like graffiti in the 90s.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
true.
They had their-
Marvel,
yeah.
I think comics.
Right,
Yeah,
but
the most
mainly
90s
like
thing
the M
ever.
or something.
I know.
Yeah, no,
M
I mean
with the
that was-
Marvel on the bottom, right? It didn't spell
Yeah.
Marvel.
I always actually liked. I think it was in the late '90s when they decided to start retiring the graffiti thing, which is a good logo, but it's also very specifically '90s.
Oh, of course.
That
I
was like
agree.
the style. That as was the style at the time. I like the Marvel, the words just written on red. I think it's very simple, and as you can see, they've managed to expand that. Like it works well in visual.
It's very simple.
moving pictures. Yeah.
It's two typefaces and a block of color, and it's always going to be red. That's just Marvel red.
Oh, yeah.
Red.
Yeah, the Marvel Pantone color of now. I'm curious what it is.
Yeah.
Let's find out.
What were we gonna add, Brendan?
I was gonna say I liked the last logo we got up just a little bit only because it reminded me of the original DC logo from like way back. That was the only thing going for it. From like I want to say like maybe like the 60s or 70s logo.
I think at the time that's what they were trying to emulate without copying.
Oh,
it.
sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That said, this was the best move that they could have made.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Honestly, it is the most recognizable version of the DC logo.
Yeah, I just brought up on the screen the comparison there, and yeah, you're right. It is very reminiscent of the DC before the DC bullet logo, just a different font essentially on the simplified just letters D and C. But
Yeah, because it used to be like Superman comics, like DC Superman or whatever.
Mhm. Yep, exactly.
The checkerboard era.
Yep, and
Detective Comics, Superman Comics.
everybody forgets that that's what DC originally stood for.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, bringing it back's a great idea. I love that it's the DC Studios logo as well. And for that matter, mentioning this isn't exactly San Diego Comic-Con news, but that production has officially wrapped on the new Superman movie. So that's now in the books, and they're going to start the editing and post-production process. So we could theoretically have a trailer probably within the next month or two.
That was a fast shoot, though.
I'm not expecting a trailer until at least New York Comic Con.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah. So maybe actually that would be a perfect drop for that weekend, to be honest with you. So
Yeah, absolutely.
but once October comes around, we'll probably be hearing more about that.
But like Brandon was saying, it is a relatively fast shoot, but James Gunn is actually known for like running a tight
Oh, yeah.
and shooting quickly and getting. But that leaves almost a year for post production.
Oh,
I mean,
Yep.
Movie's gonna look good, guys.
yeah,
It's gonna look good.
really good.
But you know what else looks good? I'm actually really interested in this Ultimate DC universe. I mean, DC's Absolute Universe.
You mean this one?
Yeah.
Earth One that we had 10 years ago?
Hold on, wait. Where's my
This
Ultimate?
Ultimate Universe? Because
Oh
the
my
Superman books were not good. The
Yeah.
Batman books were good. The Wonder Woman books, Wonder Woman books. What the
I
hell
like
did
Wonder
I say?
Woman.
The Wonder Woman books were good. These JMS ones, not so good.
The
Much
Green-
less the artists were shit.
This was my Bible, though. This was my Bible.
Oh
I
yeah.
love
Teen
this
Titans one? I don't know if I
Oh my
read that
God.
one.
Titans,
I
yeah.
read that one.
The Green
yeah.
Lantern ones. Oh, that's the best
Oh
two
god,
of the
it's
bunch.
so good. That one's so good too.
Green Lantern by Gabriel Hardman and his wife.
I feel like the entire the entire Earth One narrative was lost in editorial shuffle more than anything
Yeah.
else. Like it was
So Earth One, they said we're going to have an Earth One, okay, and then everybody was on Earth One, but they never connected them.
no.
And then
Right.
what do they come out here with? Oh, here we're going to have Absolute DC. And
Yeah.
guess what? They're grounded takes on the character. Here's Superman wearing a T-shirt. They're grounded takes on the character, and we're not going to have them connect for a while, is what they said. So it's like this is just Earth One all over again, you guys. Except the actual publisher appears to be in on it. Because they figured out that maybe we'll make a little bit more money selling single issues and graphic novels as opposed to just coming out with a hardcover every year.
Right.
It feels like they're not embarrassed by it anymore. That's the thing.
That's
No.
Well,
exactly-
it's less them being grounded because I was at the panel, them saying, we want to have the tradition of the legacy of the standard universe and also just something different for a new story. They want to kind of both, which I think is a healthy idea rather than replacing one with the other.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Well, I mean, again, the ultimate universe comparison is probably the best way to go with it, is that rather than a New 52 scenario where everything that came before is gone and this is your new mom now, I'm sorry, whether you like it or not, they're giving people the option here. You know, you can continue to read the characters that you've been reading this entire time, or you could read this new grounded take at square one for this new universe, or you could read both, or you could read a little bit of both, like whatever the hell you want. And
I want to be a dick and point out this is not the first time or the second time they've tried to start a different universe.
oh yeah,
There's All-Star Batman and Robin, The Boy Wonder by the notorious Frank Miller and Jim Lee, notoriously late.
we
We were supposed to have an All-Star Batgirl that never came out. The only other thing we get out of this line was All-Star Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, so here's the
Third time's a charm, I guess.
so here's the point in the conversation where Jamal name drops.
yes.
All right. So
What
I've
project
actually-
were you on and then dropped out of, Jamal?
No, this is not a project that I was on and dropped out of, but I have actually known about the absolute line since last year.
What?
And actually
Betrayed
was
us.
talking name drop talking to Scott Snyder
Oh yes.
about it.
Yes. Yes.
As
Yes.
you do, as one does.
Their plans for what they wanted to do and why they were doing it.
Yeah.
And one of Scott's big worries at the time really was, especially having at least on his end, had finished all of the Best Jacket books. Like they were finishing up, like artwork was being finished. We were finishing up Dudley Datsun, and he was like, one of his big concerns was, coming back and doing what he considers to be like a really very, very different take on Batman and whether or not people would accept it. And this is the furthest. I mean, the only thing that is the same about this Batman is that his name is Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
That is it. Batman, who is basically the size of Braun Strowman.
Yes.
I want to see Batman figure out how to pull the. You ever seen those guys? They cannot touch the middle of their back. So if I ever see Batman put something behind his back that's this big,
Well,
I want to see him actually breach it, because I don't believe that he actually could scratch the middle of his back, because once your arms and your lats get too big, you lose flexibility, and that's a guy right there that doesn't have as much flexibility.
I can't scratch my back, guys.
So you're not going to see any batarangs and bat ropes. This is you're talking just fist on flesh.
WWF beatdown Batman.
Exactly.
Dave Bautista?
is that? Oh God, is that a glider on his hands that he can go out, or is that just?
Well, he's an engineer.
Oh, got it. Okay.
So,
that is a Dark Knight, Batman Begins rigid hard wing thing. I bet.
Yeah.
Electrostatic skeleton activation thing that he's going to use to beat people with, because he's got a giant claw on it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
And the images that have come out so far for the other books as well, like the Wonder Woman images that have come out, Superman looks actually pretty damn badass. I mean, I know it's a very simplified costume, obviously, and the whole point of these is that even though they're supposed to be down to earth, it's also supposed to be a very downtrodden, down on their luck version of the characters, at least for start. And Jason Aaron and Raph Sandoval are working on that Superman version. Kelly Thompson and Hayden Sherman on Wonder Woman, and Jeff Lemire is going to be on Flash, which I'm really looking forward to that one because I love everything that Jeff Lemire does, and I can only imagine that his take on Flash is going to be something new and interesting.
So I think that's Wally too.
Yes, it is. So,
And they're also doing Green Lantern. There's an absolute Green Lantern that's in the works.
Mhm.
What's the guy who did Hulk? Al Ewing, I think, is doing it.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
Al Ewing.
okay. All right. All right.
So are we going to get some typical Al Ewing body horror? Or
I wouldn't be surprised, quite frankly. Oh no, the green coming out of his body is very obtuse and weird, or something like that.
I'm interested to see what this is. Like, I'll check everything out. I'll probably read most of it, but I don't know. DC fans to me feel more fickle than Marvel fans because like we've tried this again and again and again, and none of the times it stuck. All Star fell apart because I think there wasn't enough push behind it, or the creators were late, or whatever. It wasn't organized. The Earth One initiative failed for whatever reasons. I think because they went for graphic novels rather than single issues. But the core concept is the same. It's a downtrodden, harder edge look. I mean, like Wonder Woman looks cool, but like, hey, I can go look at the Brian Azzarello, Cliff Chang stuff, and that's a Wonder Woman that looks pretty similar to that, just minus the tattoos.
Yeah, but
like that vibe of it is the entire vibe of the Azzarello run, which apparently people don't like, which I liked a lot. So I don't know that it's going to take, because it's the DC fans are so hard up for their classic stuff. See what happened to the New 52, that I don't know that they're going to support it. You have a whole Elseworlds line that's out right now, and nobody's talking about the Kryptonian age of the Batman Gotham by Gaslight, which is a good book, but nobody's talking about it. Dark Knights of Steel, great book. Did anybody go and check it out? Like, I don't know that people are talking about it in a way that's going to support it long term. So I don't know how this is going to do.
Dark Knights of Steel does sell. Like,
It does.
sells well.
It's my biggest seller at my store. It's going every week, or when I was there, and now the new one just came out. It's gone already. Gone within like the first day.
And let me also say the main difference, I mean, outside of the graphic novel thing of it all, between Earth One and Absolute, is that it seems like all of DC's marketing efforts are behind this initiative at the moment. Like when Earth One came out, it immediately felt like an also ran to me. Like it felt like something that, is cool, but isn't necessarily going to be something that's going to like catch on and be its own ongoing universe.
Because there was a year between Volume 1 of Superman and like Volume 1 of Batman, and then you got 2 more volumes of Superman before you got any other volume of Batman, much less I think the Wonder Woman started late. There was a long time, like Wonder Woman Earth 1 Volume 3 came out, I think, last year.
Yeah, that's it. That's that's exactly my point, is that it seems like this is actually going to be a regular thing, that the creators are, actually, I mean, knock on wood, because who the hell knows, because it's happened before, that they're going to be pretty regular with this stuff, and that they're actually doing their best to craft a universe immediately here, rather than wait 7 years and then you might get volume 3. Like, I don't think that's happening.
Let's be 100% honest. And Brent, you already like alluded to this too. Superman Earth 1 is terrible.
Yeah.
It is terrible.
Yeah.
Like, and the second book is even worse than the first book. I hated those books.
I'm not saying that they're good. The only ones I really enjoyed were the Batman, Green Lantern, and Wonder Woman. That's half the line, I guess.
Yes.
But I think that goes to your point. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to say I think, I mean, Green Lantern did a little bit better because Gabriel and Corrine were able to get them out on a more regular basis. I know that Johns and Gary Frank were doing double duty on both the Batman books and Doomsday Clock, so that was a lot of the delay as well on those books. But they told their story. They got their books out, and they did really well, and they sold well. I think the problem was, especially like as time went on. I mean, the Earth One books are a Dan DiDio initiative, and once Dan got pushed out of DC, I don't think there was the same drive
definitely
to do those books anymore, or to explore doing Flash Earth One, or whatever, like I think there was potential, but I think that because there didn't seem to be a connection between any of those books, that hurt it. Which were obviously, even though they're saying that, the absolute DC books aren't going to connect immediately, that they're going to connect at some point. They're going to find a way for all of these characters to kind of dovetail towards each other.
Right.
So I'm curious as to what they do, how much different these versions of the characters are going to be from the regular DC counterparts. And the fact that they are connected, the fact that Darkseid is the catalyst for this whole initiative, means that they're going to be connected. I mean, it doesn't take away from the fact that there are still other universes in the DC multiverse. There's still an Earth 2, Earth 3, Earth X.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
so
this is just another Earth.
There's more stories to be told, basically.
Right. Exactly.
And if it does well, they will continue to tell stories in it. If it does not do well, then they probably won't. But they're sure as hell
also
try,
I mean, but they've got a freaking murderer's row working on these books.
Absolutely. Yeah, Mr. Raphael Suhu joins us from his remote location, aka his apartment. Raph, we haven't gotten the Deadpool yet. We're talking SDCC and all that jazz, and we just got to the absolute line. So I may as well ask your thoughts on that, as they're going to be books that you're probably going to wind up reading at some point in your life.
I mean, Jamal said a murderer's row of talent. I mean, they still haven't accepted my Asriel pitch yet. Come on, guys. What are you waiting for?
It's in the mail. It's in the mail. We promise. It's in the mail. Yeah. But
I am cautiously optimistic about Absolute. Because, I mean, how many... it doesn't seem like all the other, All-Star, Earth One, all those other attempts at making a fresh universe for new readers. It seems like it's much more serious, but also this is something they have tried before. And it's something they did with the main universe, back when Jay Diddleo was in charge.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that traumatized me deeply. So I don't... it's not the main universe, but if this is going to hurt the perception of DC, which to be fair isn't all that great right now, considering Marvel rules pop culture and is the zeitgeist and represents every little corner and nook of everything. So DC gets to lay low, but like I said, I mean, the talent is tremendous. I'm interested in seeing Darkseid's always been a good villain to use like this. I mean, he's been used like this before. I mean, Final Crisis with Grant Morrison. Jeff used him a couple of times like this.
You go back to Legends.
Yeah, and that's that goes way. Yeah, I mean, Darkseid has been he has been the guy, one of the big guys. It's him and the Anti-Monitor, and the Anti-Monitor was very rarely used until Jeff took over and splattered all of his nostalgia goo all over everyone.
I did want to make one observation, and I think what separates what they're trying to do with Absolute versus Earth One or All Star is they're not just trying to retell the same origin stories of these characters just with a shiny new coat of paint and younger creators. They seem to be really, this is more of a, we're just going to take the nameplate and everything else is going to be different. And that might be what they needed to do to kind of give it a little extra push to get readers to come in and not just do, what was the name of that awful Superman Black Label
Man of Steel?
That too. No, the one that Romita Jr. drew a couple years ago.
It's Superman Year One, the Black Label.
Yeah.
Oh, with Franklin Delano Miller as running duties, right? Yeah.
Franklin Delano.
anyone with the name Frank, he's going to get the FDR treatment from me.
That's fair. That's reasonable. Yeah.
Can I just bring up one thing? Because I talked to Jason Aaron about it, and he said quite simply, the idea is to.
Damn it! I want to know what the idea is.
So close. So close.
I want to know what the idea is so bad.
It's like a cliffhanger.
There we go. He's
So you
back,
could now.
he's back.
Go ahead.
To adapt the core elements of the characters in a completely different setting. The longer it goes on, the more true they will be as their characters.
Got it. Got it. Yeah.
I think we got that.
I got the
Okay.
gist of it. Your internet's still crap, dude. So that's
Okay,
unfortunate.
I'm gonna go. I'll see what I can do about the bandwidth, and I'll message you my thoughts on the movie, and you guys
Okay.
decipher it on air.
All right.
Okay.
Sounds good. Sounds like a plan. Later, Donald.
Have
But
a nice night.
yep, you too. But I'll get to two other DC things before we get to Marvel. One being Mark Waid and Dan Mora on Justice League Unlimited. That the Justice League is returning, and I don't know if this is going to mean that the Titans are no longer going to be the premier team. I think it means the Titans are no longer going to be the premier.
I don't think the Titans have been the premier team in the last 2 years, though.
Hey, shut the fuck up. That's actually a good book.
But I think Tom Taylor's not going anywhere on the Titans book at least. So he's still
No, he's not.
enjoying that.
I think he's just dropping down to just Titans and leaving Nightwing. So
good. But yeah, Waid and Mora have been one of the premier teams in DC for a couple of years now. Their Shazam stuff was great. I really enjoyed what they were doing with World's Finest, and now they get to touch on the Justice League in a book called Justice League Unlimited, which I'm glad they're using that IP in the main universe. Like that's pretty damn awesome right there, and it's going to have some familiar Justice League faces and some not so familiar Justice League faces all combined into one package here. So that's pretty cool. Like Star Sapphire being part of the mix, I did not see that one coming, and yet there she is. So that could be some cool storytelling right there.
But Carol's been a hero for a few years now.
She has.
So it kind of makes sense.
She's been like off and on though. Like she was a hero in the John's run a little bit. Like she was off having adventures that we saw or didn't see. She was in New Guardians, I think. But I feel like the last couple of years since that era of Green Lantern ended, she hasn't really been a Star Sapphire. Like I feel like who's writing now? Jeremy Adams. I think she just recently showed up again as a Star Sapphire and is a little bit perplexed as to what's going on. So not sure how that's going to work out. But I'm excited for Waid and Mora. Like Mark Waid's had Justice League stuff before. He did. Is it Tower Babel his? Yeah. Tower Babel is his. He did some stuff with Brian Hitch that I think was so. Gosh, what is it? Oh, it's right here. Heaven's Ladder with Brian Hitch was kind of.
Love Heaven's
I love
Ladder.
that.
It's really I did not like it. I did not like it. I found the massive Treasury Edition thing.
I have my
Coliseum.
copy right over here.
But I
don't
didn't
remember
get the idea of like the weird aliens and like it was to me there wasn't enough room for the story. So I'm excited for Waid and Mora.
I think the separation of the characters, into their secret identities and the heroes, and the essentially proving that the reason why they have that side of themselves is because they need humanity, and that without them they don't have it. Was a really cool story to be told, and I think they did an excellent job of it at the time. But yeah,
is no one gonna do it?
What?
There's a whole theme song that goes with this. It's almost mandatory.
What?
Copyright.
I'm just curious if
everybody is so off tune that we don't have to worry about. So that's,
you don't have to worry about the
they're
copyright.
mistimed because of the delay also.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It was beautiful.
It's a symphony, guys.
That being said,
Yeah.
my jealousy of Dan Mora aside,
God.
look, he's good, he's fast, he's younger than I am. I'm allowed to be mad.
That's fine. That's fine.
He seems like a nice guy. He's really talented.
He knows how to draw power.
If you move to France, you could probably hang out with him more. He's only going to be one country away.
This is true.
Oh,
Mark Waid can do no wrong in my eyes.
That's very true. That's very true. Yeah, and
honestly, I don't think there's been a single Mark Waid comic that I haven't enjoyed over the years. Not saying a lot.
The Kingdom.
I like the Kingdom.
Don't you?
I love Hyper Time.
Yeah, you are not shitting on Hyper Time on this show. Okay, I am not allowing it.
I was trying to shit on Heaven's Ladder, but I will shit on the Kingdom.
All right. Well, if you're gonna shit on anything, you can shit on the random Avengers stuff that he did like 2 or 3 years back. That was only so. But that's that.
Oh, No Surrender. I just read that actually. It was all right.
It was all right. It was decent. Yeah, but for that matter, Jeff Lemire, mention him one more time. He's going to be on Justice Society with Diego Orlatega.
Did you say no?
He said not no.
He said no.
No, he said
I said then I stopped and I said almost said maybe the book will be on time now.
Yes. and the answer is yes, you're right, because Jeff Lemire knows how to turn books out at a regular pace.
He's the anti-Jeff, that's what it is, yes.
Yes.
Jeff Lemire is also not like an executive producer with like a bunch of other projects that he's
Sweet Tooth is over. Yes.
Yeah.
yes.
And for that matter, Ram V working on a Fourth World book.
This is the one I'm most excited
for
about.
this one. Yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, not only does the artwork look superb, but I feel like Fourth World has all this potential even to this day of deep diving it and making some really cool stories. And
Can you throw that art back up on the screen real quick?
yes, I can. I will do that right now. Here we are. I am putting it back on the screen. It is on the screen.
I feel like the last Fourth World's book we had was Death of the New Gods.
So no, the reason I wanted to bring it up is, apologies to people who are listening and not watching this, is that Orion's uniform in this very much looks like Christopher Pike's Strange New World uniform.
It's the New 52 uniform. Yeah. It's what he had in the Azarello and Chang run when he appeared in Wonder Woman.
Okay.
I missed the blue,
this is the new uniform.
I missed the blue, but yeah.
So do I. Yeah, but you are absolutely not wrong about that, Kris. You're now.
So Ensign Mount in the playing Orion when?
Yeah, might as well.
It could happen, and also it appears to be Wolverine on the source wall in the back there, but that's also beside the point.
I feel like John Cena should play Orion in the new DCU. Also, he's used to wearing a silver helmet. Just throw him in there.
John Cena is already
playing. Downey can do it. Lee can have John Cena do it.
All right.
So wait, who is Ram V doing art this book also, or is it just writing?
He's just writing it.
Evan Cagle. Yeah, Evan Cagle is going to be on the artwork for this one.
Cagle.
Yeah, he's doing the interiors, and Pete Woods is doing the covers.
Oh, okay, all right.
Pete Woods. Love me some.
I'm not sure about. I'm excited for that Orion book, or not the Orion book. What's it called? New Gods. But Ram V on Detective is so long in the tooth. Like, just get it over with already. So I'm hoping with New Gods he can kind of tighten it up a bit. I'm fine with the long saga, but I'm tired of this Batman saga being 20 issues long. It's like, hey, we did the War World saga on Superman with Philip Kennedy Johnson. Ram V, we want you to do the same thing. Tell a long story. I don't even remember when it started or what happened when it. It's so long.
Isn't that the one with Azrael in it?
Yeah. No.
Yeah, the one with Azrael in it. I'm supposed to be loving, but I don't know I keep forgetting what Asmer is or who these bad guys are, or where they came from.
Okay. All you need to know is Batman got his hand back. He's a billionaire again, and he's living in a new mansion in the center of Gotham.
He's wearing a blood symbol now. With
maybe
raps like tummy.
Maybe instead of Ram V, it should be Ram XX because it takes him 20 issues to wrap something up. That's possible. I don't know.
His Swamp Thing stuff wasn't like that, though. The Swamp Thing stuff with Mike Perkins was good, and it had a tight arc that was telling a longer story with multiple arcs. But this Nocturne thing, oh my gosh!
Look, when you get the flagship book at DC Comics, Detective Comics, you milk it for all it's worth.
Yeah. Absolutely. And now that I think about it, Swamp Thing is a connecting character in so many ways with the major players at DC at the moment. Like, Scott Snyder, Jeff Lemire, Ram V, like they've all had their takes and their runs on Swamp Thing in one way or the other. So that's a beloved character that continues to be churning in multiple different ways.
Look at the other legendary writers who have taken on Swamp Thing. Morrison, Moore, and who had Jeffrey the Giraffe Johns.
That's true. Yes,
he's never had a Swamp Thing series.
Why are we nicknaming people on this
It's
episode?
finger
Raph?
guns. Number one.
I'm
Finger
tired.
guns,
I need
Jones.
something.
Okay. Well, let's go from DC to Marvel and talk about the weird shit. And
We do the weird shit.
yeah.
X-Men.
Well, okay, that all got revealed already. So like that's not really, there really wasn't a lot of comic book news for Marvel at San Diego Comic-Con, to be entirely honest with you.
Oh, they had some hot water though.
They did, yeah, but there sure was a lot of news related to the movies in multiple ways. For one thing, Thunderbolts, they showed a bunch of footage of. They had Harrison Ford come up and literally Hulk out, which means that Harrison Ford is either on 8 cans of Red Bull or he's making a lot of money, and he's very, very.
That's what I'm
saying!
They paid him so much.
Oh my God!
So much.
There's no way he's that enthusiastic for any project unless he's making a butt ton of money, and I mean like a butt ton.
I think it's because it's not Star Wars, number one. Okay. Because if you ask him about any other movies other than Star Wars, he is super happy about them.
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars is the one that he hates the most.
Yeah.
And I think maybe they just gave him so much cash he doesn't care anymore.
Yeah. I mean, that wasn't how the Force worked, and he was done with the Force and how it works. That's it.
He was done with the Force back in the 70s.
But he was still doing movie. All right, fine. But mainly he's going to be in Captain America Brave New World, and we did get a trailer that dropped for that right before San Diego Comic-Con, where we got to see a little bit of what was going on, and some very small footage of Red Hulk to tease us, as clearly that's going to wind up happening in there. But Thunderbolts with the asterisk, they still haven't explained what the asterisk is. Got some footage reveal, and they had a bunch of the actors show up. Most importantly, Fantastic Four got a subtitle: First Steps. Yes. That is going to be the subtitle for Fantastic Four. There was a big drone show where they revealed Galactus in drone form, and then we got some artwork that revealed Galactus in less than drone form. And clearly he's going to be a main driving force of it. And there's some shaky cam TikTok footage of the Fantastic Four First Steps trailer that I totally didn't watch.
No,
okay.
Totally didn't watch
I totally didn't watch that either.
No.
I did not download it and show it to you guys. And
Nope.
No.
I did not click on that link and just put it on repeat a couple of times. Nope. Not this guy. Not this guy. Nope.
Really not. But the bulk of that, outside of revealing the footage, which looked amazing, quite frankly,
looks so good.
Oh my God! Like the 4-3, the science show aspect of it, like
the color palette of it also.
That is a genius stroke.
That is,
and I told you guys that.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
It also kind of cuts the comic weirdness of Reed naming himself Mr. Fantastic when they get their powers. So
maybe that's the name of a show. Like Mr. Wizard.
No, it is. Yeah. No, yeah. It's Fantastic Science with Mr. Fantastic.
Oh, I love it.
Is that in the trailer that you didn't watch?
It's in the trailer.
Okay, I missed that.
That we didn't watch. That we absolutely watched.
Richard's Mr. Fantastic.
Read. Mind you, also seeing some of the sexy futuristic cityscape.
Yeah.
And what that New York looks like, 100%.
This is the future the Jetsons promised us.
Yes.
This is what I'm pissed off about.
Yes,
Flying cars.
you even got the
Fucking
little Jetson style apartment building in the foreground there.
I'm so pissed.
We saw the Fantastic Horror, which just made me super duper happy. But after they reveal all this and everybody's all whoopity doo and whatnot, they bring a whole bunch of Dooms up onto the stage, and they discuss that there has been a change, and that is Jonathan Majors no longer exists. He has been stricken from the red.
Who?
Exactly.
They cut off that branch of the sacred timeline.
He did.
Who? What?
The sacred timeline no longer exists at that point, and Kang Dynasty no longer exists. It's going to be Avengers Doomsday, May 2026, and Avengers Secret Wars still happening May 2027. They bring out a bunch of Dooms. Out comes one main Doom to the front, and
Nicely tailored suit.
in a nicely tailored Doom suit, and he takes off his mask, and underneath is somehow a zombie Stan Lee. No, Robert Downey Jr. And then he threw money to the
wrong character.
like, I don't need it. They're giving me all of it. They're literally giving me all of it. It's
Did
fine.
you guys see the number though?
What?
Oh yeah, no,
It's like 100 million.
Significantly more than 80.
Yeah, they gave him
I don't know
points
what
on
that
the
means.
film. No,
Like-
they gave him points on the film.
Yeah.
much like
Avengers. when you
Alec
get that.
Guinness in Star Wars and Marlon Brando in Superman. This
Yep.
man is going to be making money off of these films in perpetuity.
Oh, 100%. 100%. And I mean, it's smart as hell, quite frankly. And mind you, new mask, same task. He stated.
Acting, I hope.
Yes.
Not being Tony Stark.
Well,
Ungodly acting talent.
what I have been theorizing is that this is going to be a Doctor Doom. I don't think it's going to be the Doctor Doom, and we're going to wind up getting a MCU Doctor Doom afterwards. They're not going to say that. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to mention the Russos are returning for the Avengers movies because there's no other directors in Hollywood that exists. So
No, I don't want that. I want the Doctor Doom. If we're getting the Fantastic Four, I want the
the thing
Doctor
is-
Doom.
No, I agree with Brent. I honestly think that he is the Doctor Doom. It's just that Doctor Doom in this universe looks exactly like Tony Stark.
okay.
So here's the thing.
If you think about it, story-wise, it's brilliant because Tony in the MCU
Yeah.
was not only the initial catalyst for the formation of the Avengers, he also created a lot of the Avengers' problems
That's true.
initially. So it kind of makes sense that the catalyst for this next phase of the MCU being Doctor Doom would also be a version of Tony Stark.
So
I'm
the thing
just
I want to
excited to
point
see
out.
Downey Jr. not be charming. Like my YouTube video, I was like, it's kind of the same character, just minus the charm. Egomaniac,
I mean, Doom can be charming though.
super smart,
Can be. And
Yeah, but
and
not warm.
but
charming.
not.
Well-
He doesn't have the charisma of schmoozing people in the room. Like he's just a straight up. He's like I am. He's a straight up dick to your face.
He's basically going to be playing the character he was in Oppenheimer, who, yes, I'm aware is a real person, but
Right.
yes. Well, and they could very easily as well if this is going to just be Doctor Doom, and he doesn't have the facial scarring yet. He could sure as hell get the facial scarring, and then all Robert Downey Jr. has to do is voice work whenever
Right.
Doctor Doom shows up. That's clearly something that they could work in if he's not going to be in 5 movies or something like that. Go ahead, Raph.
I'm sorry. If I'm paying you significantly more than $80 million, you better show up to set. God damn it.
Not if you're
So-
RDJ.
So 2 things.
Yeah.
1, $200 billion to do voice work. And 2, this is the important thing. He is the Fantastic Four's Doctor Doom, and the Fantastic Four aren't in the main Marvel Cinematic Universe, the 616, because their New York is retro futuristic and our New York is New York.
No.
Yes. That
Our
is
New
true.
York is Rat City right now.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
So now all they have to do is cast Henry Cavill as the Beyonder for Secret Wars, and then we're set.
Jerry
It's
Crawl.
Wolverine. What are you
Give him a
talking
Jerry
about?
Crawl. Give him a
He could
Jerry
be
Crawl.
Molecule Man.
Hold on, Raph. We're getting to that. We're getting to that.
Mhm.
Well,
So
so
I would want Jim Parsons to be Molecule Man.
Oh,
That would
so-
be good.
God,
Actually,
it's not terrible.
Actually,
So Weasley.
That's
so
actually
that's-
Or Leonard, the guy who played Leonard, maybe.
No,
Johnny
'cause
Galecki?
Johnny Galecki plays nerdy, but normal Johnny Galecki is kind of slick.
No. What's his face? Oh, the other one.
Kumail.
Boy.
Johnny,
No.
he could be
Not
Rick.
Kumail. Oh gosh.
Oh, the
Voice
guy who
man
played
from
Howard.
Howard. Yeah, Howard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see
I'm
that.
just thinking of all the guys on the show you guys hated, but I loved.
Yeah, or
Big
how
Bang Theory.
about none of them? Fuck the Big Bang Theory. Let's move on.
Hey. You know what? I also hate the Big Bang Theory, but I do think Jim Parsons is a damn fine actor.
Agree with that entirely. Yeah. No, he's. They're all good actors. They were just stuck on a shitty show. Let's move on. What?
Sorry, Kunal Nayar is the guy that I was thinking of, not Kumail Nanjiani.
Hmm.
I don't think he would be any good at anything, but that's the guy I was thinking of.
We didn't even talk about Kumail Nanjiani in the rumor.
That's not confirmed though.
No, it's not confirmed. But it's an interesting rumor.
The intro.
That'd be a funny reveal.
Rumor being that he may very well wind up being Booster Gold in the the DC Studios cinematic universe, which
I kind of love it.
I'm all for it. I'm all for it. We didn't get to have Donald Faison. Okay, we came really close
that's
to
true.
Donald Faison as Booster Gold, and I think that would have been fantastic. I think
God, I'm gonna be forever mad about that. Like, it's not even like a cliffhanger, but they clearly, Legends of Tomorrow clearly thought they were getting another season.
Oh,
and,
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Because they didn't even put him in the costume. They were like, well, we ran out of money, but you'll get him in the costume next year.
Get folks.
It's,
Hey, guys,
I mean,
we fucked
anything.
up.
He showed up in a robe, and they're playing "Here Comes the Hot Stepper." I was like, I'm good.
Yeah.
This is fine.
Yeah, but Kumail has the personality for it. He could 100% fit it, and he's not going to be an Eternal anytime soon. So he's got to do something with his career. Like come on.
He'd be a great Green Lantern, guys.
What?
What?
That's a reference to Justice League Unlimited.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Got it. Right. Thank you, Green Lantern.
Oh, just one last note on the Legends of Tomorrow. I really wanted them to bring in Blue Beetle as Zach Braff,
Oh my God.
Just-
Yes.
just because it'd be like different reality. I don't give a shit. It's
Oh
just
God, it'd be so great.
I just hope Booster, whatever Booster has this, like the Smallville and New 52 has the branding stuff on his chest. Like, just give me an Exxon sticker on there.
I'd
LexCorp.
be fine with that. I'd be fine with that. What about Creature Commandos? By the way, what we think of the trailer that launched?
I'm fucking in. I'm in.
Eh.
I'm in.
Yeah,
I'm
looks
in.
good. It looks good. I know a lot of the Snyderverse, dickwads are like they got their panties in a twist about it.
Why do the Snyderverse guys have their panties
Oh,
in a
because
twist?
it's got the same humor as the Suicide Squad. James Gunn can't write anything else. It's like it's Creature Commandos. It's set in the same. It's a spiritual sequel to Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Of course, you're going to want them to have the same humor.
Right.
Jesus Christ!
It's not even a spiritual sequel. It is a sequel. Like that's
Right.
that's it. Weasel's back. Viola Davis is Amanda Waller. It is.
Yeah, you have Amanda Waller and Rick Flag and Rick Flag.
Yes.
Yes.
I thought that was Rick Flag's like dad though. That
Yeah,
it is his
Grillo's
father.
playing.
Rick
Yeah,
Flag
it's-
Senior, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's
Okay, so
Flag.
Are they both
Senior.
like Nick Fury eternally young or something? Because then Frank Grillo's in the fucking Superman movie.
Mhm.
And then what's his name is coming back as Rick Flag for Peacemaker season 2, which is now in the new DC universe.
Joel Kinnaman coming back.
Joel Kinnaman's coming back apparently for
RoboCop's
season
coming
2?
back.
Oh
Okay.
shit.
All right. Okay.
So I'm
I
like,
heard that.
how many people are coming back?
I mean, look, they'll make it work, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some sort of serum shit.
Universal hijack.
Yeah, who knows?
I'm trying to think, was there actual reason in the comics that Rick Flag Sr. was still alive? Because or did he die in World War II or after World War II?
No, he ended up on the island that time forgot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
with the rest of the original Suicide Squad.
right. Yeah. Okay.
So he was like the last remaining living version.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Rick Jr.
Senior sacrificed himself to the war wheel.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Yeah.
War wheel.
God, the dumbest concept ever, but so fucking fun though.
So nemesis. So terrifying. Just think of a wheel and how terrifying it is.
Guys,
Would you like to solve the puzzle?
hey guys, you know what's scary? Big Wheel as a villain. Oh no!
Ooh, you might go bankrupt.
Oh, I honestly have no idea what you're talking about. You say Big Wheel as villain, and I just think of a guy rolling up on a big wheel,
Well,
like the tricycles.
which is another character. Isn't Big Wheel a character?
Yes, he is. Spider-Man. Yes.
Spider-Man. Yeah.
But
Hey,
none of them ride an actual fucking trike big wheel, do they?
Could you imagine that though? Oh my god!
Actually,
You
Hey guys, I have a green machine. Watch out!
oh yeah.
new villain idea?
Oh my
New
god.
villain idea?
Yeah.
A celestial, like a cosmic being who's like 200 feet tall and has a cosmic, gigantic adamantium Tonka truck, and he just like lands on Earth and goes vroom 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 all over the place.
What
And
was that
no one can
Spider-Man
stop him.
villain from One More Day?
Oh,
Fast Lane or something?
Oh,
Oh
fast.
god!
Yeah. She was
Just a race car driver in a helmet.
Yes.
I touch a car and it becomes really good, guys. Oh my god!
Oh Lord. All right. Anything else out of SDCC that we need to talk about? Because honestly, that's the bulk of it. I am optimistic about the RDJ thing. Quite frankly, I think that everybody who was trying to say that it's it's creatively bankrupt and bloody blah blah blah. I'm like, it's what?
It's movies,
Let's see.
guys.
Exactly. It's the movies. You're either gonna like it or you're not. I'm still a Marvel guy for the most part when it comes to my movies, and I've enjoyed some of the other movies that other people have not more than other people have. Like, I didn't think that Quantum Media was a complete pile of shit. I just thought it was so-so.
It was just too heavy on the exposition. I know we didn't record about it. I insisted on at least talking about it for at least 2 minutes.
Yes, definitely. And
Yeah,
way
but
too much
Quantumania was like all Kang.
Yeah.
I think
I can't fault Jonathan Majors' talent. It's the person that's the problem.
100%.
Yes.
100%. Yeah, no question.
I'll be honest. About the whole RDJ is Doom thing. I'm not excited yet, but
I just remember I remember leaving my showing of Twisters, opening up my phone and seeing the entire internet losing their shit. And then I was like, wait a minute, this can't be right. And then I looked at it. I'm like, turns out it's right. Okay, let's see.
Did you go to Twisters for the tornadoes or for the plot?
Both.
The plot being what's his face? Glenn Campbell.
Yeah.
Glenn Campbell, not Glenn.
Who's Glenn Campbell? I don't know.
You're gonna go through every Glenn is out there, right?
John Glenn.
Glenn Campbell is
Glenn
the
Gary,
singer
Glenn
of
Ross.
the Rhinestone Cowboy.
My wife's been sending me all these TikTok and Instagram reels of the plot as that guy in the wet T-shirt after we saw it, and I'm like, okay, I got it. Thank you very much.
Anthony Ramos is actually closer to the second lead in that movie than Glenn Powell is, but he didn't get nearly as much advertising because Glenn Powell is Mr. the Sexy right now, and
Yes.
it was actually a lot of fun. I thoroughly enjoyed the damn thing. Like, it was stupid fun. There was kind of a plot, and there were a bunch of funnels in the sky, and they were destroying shit. So it was good. It was good.
So like Twister. Nice.
Yeah. I want to know if Anthony Ramos got jacked for Twisters or for playing the Hood, which hasn't come out yet.
Probably the Hood, yeah.
Because I saw pictures of him as the Hood.
Because that's what's it called?
Ironheart.
Riri Williams, Ironheart.
Yes. William.
Which will be like 2 years since they filmed it by the time that thing comes out.
That's
but she's an older actress.
Yes.
So she just plays young. So it's not a Iman Vellani situation. I always want to add the extra I on her first name for some reason.
Imani Vellani.
She's an Italiano.
Hey,
Oh,
what do
God.
you
Not a
mean?
Pakistani.
That's how you say her name.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
God.
mean, if Zendaya can play a high schooler and then a mature woman with a kid and challengers and pull them off brilliantly, I don't really think about age. I think people are starting to look younger. We're not in the days of 90210 when everybody is 30 and looks 30.
Yeah.
So
Was I the only one who was expecting a stealth Tom Holland fourth Spider-Man reveal and San Diego Comic-Con this year? Because they've started talking about it, happening, and part of me was like, whether it be at the Marvel panel or whether it be at some Sony panel,
if they do, it's probably not going to be for like another couple of years because he's going to be
fit it.
Like he's got a couple of different projects happening like the next 2 years.
And so does Zendaya. She's got like Dooney stuff to still do, like more Doonies, all the Doonies.
God, no more Doonies, please.
I want to go back to Captain America: Brave New World for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Giancarlo Esposito is apparently playing Sidewinder from the Serpent Society, which, if you remember,
Was the
way back when was the original title of Captain America 3 before we got told it was actually Civil War when Robert Downey Jr. jumped out on stage and said, whoa, hold on. But apparently, Sidewinder was added completely during reshoots.
Really?
So I'm curious about this movie, how it's going to turn out.
Well, okay, yes and no, because Seth Rollins from the WWE is also a member of the Serpent Society in the movie.
Right. And there's been
I just want them to show up in their stupid fucking costumes.
Not going to happen.
No, not happening.
There's also been talks that most of Seth Rollins, if not all of Seth Rollins' material has been cut from the movie, but that's also all conjecture and rumor.
Right.
Oh, they burned it down.
Yeah. Thank you. I could always
God damn it, Raph.
Raph to make the stupid joke. Thank you.
God, why, Raph? Why?
I love other people's suffering.
He also should just be playing the Joker in a DC movie because he already plays him in real life. But
I just want the guy in a Cobra outfit with the thing, like with the fangs.
That's
Come
not
on,
going to happen, right?
just give it to me.
Give me Diamondback.
Just do it. Just do it in a secret cabal down in a dungeon below. You're sacrificing something to your demon god just for one scene.
Captain America, were you
Make it ceremonial.
Were you expecting me?
Give me Diamondback. Give me Razorback. Give me Diamondback, Razorback, Silverback. Why are they all named back? By the way, why?
I want my baby back.
Babybacks, yeah.
Exactly.
Who else was? God.
Yeah, they hang out at the Chili's. It's great. It's good.
Baby back ribs.
Barbecue sauce. Yeah,
but I mean, you've got the Serpent Society. If one person doesn't drop the line, "My anaconda don't want none," I mean,
yeah. Oh God. Hey, I'm glad that we already got the I barely recognize you. They made me shave the mustache. They said I wouldn't win the Olympics. I still had it. Also, my original actor is dead. But
I think it's a funny joke, but it also kind of highlights how Marvel doesn't want to recast anymore, even though they used to do it no problem.
Drop of a hat.
Yeah, and now it's like, no, they like cling to them, and if they do have to recast, we have to make excuses. I'm like, no, you don't. People aren't stupid. We were fine with two different roadies.
But this is the third actor to play Thunderbolt Ross over the course of like Marvel films.
You're counting the one in Ang Lee.
Yeah. You wouldn't like me when I'm Ang Lee.
Oh. Yeah.
I'm sorry, it was right there. And every single time anybody brings up that Hulk movie with the 4 helicopters that are actually like 2, then
and a gigantic wolf.
So we've had Sam Elliott, William Hurt, and now Harrison Ford.
Yeah. Yep. And then
I love that Harrison Ford is in his paycheck era, the way that Bruce Willis was.
yeah,
Except that hopefully he's just doing a better job of it.
I
I
mean,
just need Harrison Ford to push someone off Air Force One and scream, "Get off my plane!"
you might get there, man. You might get there. Who knows?
I bet Cap pushes Harrison Ford off the Air Force One as he hulks out.
Oh.
That'd be my prediction.
That would be cool.
In a reversal.
Mr. President, get off your plane.
Oh my
It
god.
would be, I feel like it'd be get off plane.
Well, no, Red Hulk is.
It doesn't matter. He's gonna do it anyway.
Said get plane off.
In the spirit of weird tangents, in
Yeah.
this 2-hour podcast, let's go to our main topic.
Yes.
Okay.
So you're just gonna force it.
Really
Thank-
nice segue, Brent. Nice segue.
With us
Actually-
long. And just as a note, before we go any further here, I will probably also have a YouTube timestamp if I remember. But from this point on, if you have not seen Deadpool and Wolverine, then guess what? You're about to be spoiled on just about everything.
Spoiling time.
And this is a very spoiler
Yeah.
movie. If you've somehow managed to not be spoiled by random Nerdist articles, by random Hollywood Reporter,
CBR.
by an entire San Diego Comic-Con panel where every single cameo came out on stage, then
Oh God.
somehow more power to you. Please stop listening right now. Go see the movie and then continue listening when you are done. Okay, fine. That's enough preamble. Deadpool and Wolverine. Gambit showed
Don't
up.
want to have to make it tough.
Yes.
Gambit,
We just want to
fucking
tell you
Blade.
to go watch the stuff.
We're
There'll only be one blade. Whoops, Marshala.
oh my
What was the Herschel or also TV Blade 2?
Sticky fingers.
Jones?
Sticky fingers.
I was actually half expecting him to show up at some
I
point.
liked that blade show. That was
Yeah.
It was
fun.
a good show. It was good.
I want to get initial impression on the yes. It was no, it wasn't Spike. It was or was
Yeah,
it
it was
Spike?
Spike TV.
It was Spike. It was Spike. It was like
Deathstrike
it
was in
wasn't-
there.
Just to go back, yeah, the Blade show I think was shortly after Spike TV became Spike TV.
Yeah.
Like it was one of their first shows. It was possibly one of the only dramatic shows they did at the time. I enjoyed it. I'm bummed that it didn't get a second season. And
I was actually at the panel for when they announced it at Wizard World of Philadelphia.
Oh well, there you go.
you,
There you go.
I didn't know Sticky Fingers was a rapper until he showed up on Blade and they said the rapper Sticky Fingers, and I was like, who?
Oh yeah, no. Member of Onyx.
All right. Initial impressions on Deadpool and Wolverine, otherwise known as the Cameo Factory. I will begin with Raph because he's wearing the T-shirt.
Yeah, I actually switched into this T-shirt for this podcast because I'm sweaty as hell. So this is just a shirt to throw in the laundry.
Nicely done.
It's I don't know, man. I think I have a very Marvel catered. I think the MCU, especially in Phase 4 and 5, is much more easy to digest and enjoy as a comic book fan. If you look at it as like a post-event, you have that cooling down period after a major event, which doesn't really exist anymore because there's an event every year. But you focus on the smaller stories, and the Marvels was a great team-up book, a great like 2-issue team-up book, and Deadpool and Wolverine was like the greatest Deadpool team-up miniseries ever.
Yeah.
Just you can't. I mean, between all the different Wolverine, oh my god! Just in the first 5 minutes, I was like giddy over the fact we got Age of Apocalypse Wolverine, we got like Crucified Wolverine, we got actually comic book accurate Wolverine,
Biblically
we got
Oh, yeah.
Wolverine.
wait, go to that. It is, yeah, it was. He said comic accurate short King Wolverine,
Yes.
which cracked me up because I was sitting next to Ian and I actually whispered, I'm like short King Wolverine. And then he said it.
I mean, look at the. It's true though. Look, fucking Jackman's like 6'3" in this photo you have on the screen here from the screenshot.
Yep. Yeah, and in the comics, Wolverine is 5'3". So rest my case.
So the thing is, like, it's so between all the cameo appearances and then all the nostalgia too. Not just for like the Fox era of movies, with Elektra and the X-Men references, and even that nice little montage in the credits of all like
Right.
behind the scenes stuff. But you also had nostalgic music, all the stuff that most of us grew up with in our teens and 20s, NSYNC, I have not thought of Avril Lavigne in a long time.
Oh my God.
I have had "I'm With You" stuck in my head since Monday when I saw the movie. But and the best thing about this, I think, is as a reminder of I'm like actually an old adult now and not just like a kid. I go on TikTok now and like there's all these like little Zoomers trying to replicate the "Bye Bye Bye" dance, which is something that people I knew were trying to do when that song came out back in 2000.
Right.
And, like sophomore. Yeah, we were all doing that
was a much more complicated version of that dance that Deadpool was doing than what they actually do on stage.
No, it's not. That's actually the actual one.
You think so? The last time I saw it, it looked like they cut out a bunch of steps because
they have because they've gotten older because they're also in their like 40s and 50s. So,
but if you can't dance anymore, that's why.
You watch a 2000s era performance or watch the video.
He's the best one.
He's the best fighter too. I mean, have you seen Enter the Fat One? Come on.
Yes. Oh my God.
Come on. Don't disrespect Joey Fatone.
Hey.
But anyway,
I saw two members of NSYNC at fucking I think was it Hollywood Studios? No, it was Epcot. Randomly at Epcot at Disney.
Wait, Joey Fatone and Kris Kirkpatrick.
Yes,
I saw Dirty Pop on Netflix. Kris Kirkpatrick is the fat one now.
It was Kris Kirkpatrick and Joey Fatone on stage performing NSYNC, just randomly without any
show. That's why
at Disney. It was amazing and so random.
Hey, they live here.
God bless Justin Timberlake and his ramen hair.
Hoopa Stink's been back for the Epcot Spring Music Festival for 2 years in a row. Okay, but apparently they pay okay.
Amazing.
What was the reason? Was the reason you?
They only play 5 songs every show. Like it's an easy fucking gig. Play 4 shows a day over 1 weekend, 5 songs each.
I'm not a perfect person, okay?
Oh.
No.
Oh my God.
This is too far down a rabbit hole even for me right now. Okay, like I can see our patron numbers dropping. Brandon, let's get your initial impressions on Deadpool X Wolverine.
I laughed the entire movie, but it's okay. It's good. Like it is a solid Deadpool movie. And I don't want to make it sound like that's a bad thing. It's not. But you get basically what I expected is what I got from this movie, and I don't think I wanted more or got less than what I wanted.
Okay. That's perfectly fair and succinct, and I appreciate that. Kris, I saw it with you, so I kind of know already what you think, but now the listeners get to hear. So please.
Well, I mean, I was laughing hysterically. Not even like I'm not a good laugher sometimes. I was like the loud, nasty laughs. I was worried I was going to get thrown out of the theater. Yeah. Which does not happen much with Alamo. I usually behave myself, but I was just hooting and hollering. And I think
are you not allowed to laugh at a comedy at Alamo either?
Well, no.
You gotta be it's is it within tolerance? Because when I went to see No Way Home, there was a dude dressed as Spider-Man. He had taken the hood off, the mask, but he was like, he was getting loud enough that they had to send someone over to talk to him and be like, dude, I love your enthusiasm, but you gotta bring it down 5 notches.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I enjoyed it. I mean, it's I do have mixed feelings on it because I think, yes, it is a perfectly serviceable Deadpool movie. And I think for a Deadpool movie, it's fantastic. I think Ian has heard me complain before. I call them corpse fucking films, but I don't think that's really fair.
I mean, technically they kind of did though.
Yeah, I'll get into that just a second. But I would say fan necrophilia, where we're always digging stuff up. But the thing is, Deadpool feels like a franchise that's at least built for that. Right. The opening scene was both brilliant and yet it made me cringe because it was desecrating a grave, as well as as the movie points out, one of the greatest scenes. Yeah, I remember seeing Logan with my mom, and I turned it and my mom's crying in her seat during that scene. I love when they had Matthew McFadden actually mouthing along with the video. That was so good. I mean, it's enjoyable. I will see it again tomorrow with my mom, so I'll let you know how that went.
I mean, I'm seen it tomorrow with Martha. She hasn't seen it yet, and I'm pretty sure she's somehow remained spoiler free. So that's good.
Impressive.
I think you know what it is
That's
though. It's like
impressive.
we operate in certain spheres. Martha does not operate in that sphere. Because
Yes,
think about the fact that everything you see on social media is run by an algorithm, and the algorithm is, I would assume, figured out with all of you, despite your best efforts, what you like to look at. So, it notices that I might have Googled Deadpool once, and it starts serving up all the news stories with all the spoilers.
Exactly.
I mean, I do think, like people like to say, oh, well, it shouldn't really matter. You should still enjoy it for what it is. But I do think the surprises really, it lit up the theater. Like, people were just so, there was just pure joy. And it was just, that was the thing that I really admire about the movie, is I think it was actually really lovely. Ian said the death of a universe. And I said, it's not a universe because some of these characters were from other, companies.
Right.
But I felt like it was a kindness to the actors that play those roles. Like the montage during the credits more felt like it was honoring the people that played these roles, because let's be honest, most of them did bring their A game to that, to have it turn out to be a big pile of shit some of the times.
Yeah.
They only honored one actor from Fan Four Stick, unfortunately.
Yes. No, actually, I think they had two. They had both Johnny and Reed on the screen at points.
I think I saw the Thing on there, but
Yeah.
Jessica Alba didn't get no love. Michael Chiklis didn't get no love.
No,
Ingrid Fode, no love.
Chiklis was in the montage. He was definitely in the montage. I remember his Rocky Hyde. So he was definitely there. Not a lot of them, but there was at least a little bit of non-CGI thing at one point in there. Jamal, let me get your thoughts. Casino, you're going last because I know you're gonna have some fun takes. So yeah, Jamal, go ahead.
Okay, so I am going to actually piggyback off of what Kris said, and kind of expand on it a little bit. All of the things that annoyed me about Spider-Man No Way Home, I loved in Deadpool and Wolverine.
Okay.
All of the geeky, deep cut comic book stuff, because Deadpool, that is the type of character that is built for that kind of fourth wall breaking, real deep cut, we're going to poke fun at this. We're going to bring back, Chris Evans, but he's not, Captain America. We're going to bring back, Wesley Snipes. Fucking Elektra.
Yes.
Jennifer Garner shows up. That was
I'm sorry.
That surprised the fuck out of me, honestly.
I'm sorry about Daredevil. It's okay.
I think that I guarantee you that's what they sold her on. They said you're gonna get to poke fun at your divorce, and that probably just sold her. I guarantee you.
The one that had me.
She still has to rescue that guy from Jennifer Lopez.
The one that had me in absolute hysterics from the moment he walked on screen was Channing Tatum as Gambit.
Oh my god!
And I was just like, "You're fucking kidding." My wife Corinne is sitting next to me, and I have to explain to her that he was going to play Gambit, but they never got the movie off the ground. So him showing up, this is his redemption. He finally gets, and they make him cool.
Yeah.
I love that they brought him out, and that he's referencing the fact that maybe the characters that never got to be he's,
exactly.
And he says that line, and then he's in it's a comic accurate Gambit costume, but it's literally one of those first draft costumes that they put on the actor because there doesn't have all the texture or anything. It's the most basic ass Gambit movie costume you could get.
Oh yeah, I loved it.
Yeah. his entire jacket looks like it's made out of foam.
Version it's so thick. It's version 1.0 of Gambit. It was great.
Oh my god, so good. So good. Yeah.
So all of the just real quick, all of the, and the reason why it annoyed me in No Way Home, and I think I kind of talked about it on the show previously as well, is that it kind of felt a little forced in No Way Home, where it felt more like a more natural extension of what Deadpool already is. And Corinne and I, to prep for the movie, we rewatched Deadpool 2. And that made the transition like into this movie even easier.
Oh, sure.
For the make. But you know, we're starting from like the opening scene where he's digging up Logan's fucking grave and like killing TVA agents with his adamantium skeleton. Like,
God,
It was
Beautiful.
such a fucking fever dream.
Oh my God. I think that of all the Deadpools, they all have amazing, first scene fight sequences. Like that is what a Deadpool movie is born and bred on. Is like, we're gonna get you right into the action, and then we're probably gonna wind up doing a flashback, and you're gonna figure out why the hell you're here. That's the formula they use for all three of these movies. I think the bye fight scene for me even eclipses the fight scene from the first movie. Like it is done with such like violence and like disregard for gag reflex. Like it's just you're immediately just thrown into every bit of stupid action, and then when he pops the claws, oh God, it's so
And gets him stuck. Oh God,
so beautiful.
Yeah, that was
It's
Make
gross.
the pain
human
stop.
centipede style.
Make the
Oh
pain
God, yes, that
My
was so
first time
great.
Wolverining.
Oh my God. I'll say about this movie is that I didn't expect to get as emotional watching this movie as I wound up getting. I didn't expect to. I knew there were going to be cameos and shit, because obviously it's a multiverse movie, so they were going to have the opportunity to do so. But I fully expected them all to be X-Men cameos in the end. The fact that we got the cameos that we did completely floored me, and I got completely fooled by Chris Evans. The fact that they had him initially in a Captain America looking garb, like the wrap he was in had the red,
It was
the
a blue suit with a red glove on it
blue suit with a red glove.
to fool you.
I thought it was going to be like 1603 Captain America or something like that, like something that we hadn't gotten before. And then when it turned out to be fucking Johnny Storm, like my God, and that we get Pyro back in this movie. Cassandra Nova,
So fucking creepy.
easily one of the best villains that we've gotten in a Marvel movie in quite some time, probably since Thanos. And
Mandarin.
Mandarin, yeah, Mandarin.
Okay, Mandarin was pretty good. But I will say that this movie did everything that I wanted it to. It was written on the tin that this was going to be a team up movie. It's what we got in more ways than one. And I wasn't expecting Hamlet. I wasn't expecting something that was going to be written in time as one of the greatest written things ever. But I didn't stop laughing the whole frickin' time.
Oh no, I had so much fun with this movie.
Yeah, it was fun. It was the most fun I had at a Marvel movie in many years as well, and it deserves all the praise that it's gotten.
the dog,
My God,
Yes.
the ugliest dog on earth, which that dog
God.
has that honor of it.
yes,
Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins, and that we got Blake Lively as
Lady Deadpool.
Lady Deadpool.
And his son as Kidpool.
Yeah,
Yes, and
both of their kids actually.
I want to.
Baby Pool.
I think
is
Baby
one of his
Pool is
kids.
the younger one, the youngest one.
I want to point out Tom Holland's brother was one of the Deadpool.
Matthew freaking
And
McConaughey.
if you watch Welcome to Wrexham, the Welsh Deadpool was the guy that they chant about. I forget his name now. He's one of the soccer players from the team that he owns.
Yep.
I thought that was cool.
And yes, Matthew McConaughey as Cowboy Deadpool was completely unexpected.
Who was Samurai Deadpool?
Samurai Deadpool, I'll look that up in a moment. As we're talking here, I can figure that out. But
I love the callback to Deadpool 1, though, with Samurai Deadpool with the baby arms.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I really, one thing I appreciated in the movie is like, especially when it was Wolverine versus Deadpool or Deadpools, was like the sheer chaos of two characters who can regenerate going at each other.
Oh yeah.
Like you don't see that
Well-
often. We do not see that, especially in film, very much. So it was just, like it lets you do that hyper violence.
Oh yeah.
Well, mostly generate. Rest in peace, Nice Pool.
Ah, nice pull. Nice.
Played by Ryan's twin brother. Don't forget that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, shit! I forgot. I didn't even put two and two together on that one.
Wait, what?
It's the meta joke that Ryan Reynolds has a twin brother, so it's actually not.
Oh
though.
yeah, that's yeah, that is.
Gordon
Okay,
Reynolds.
throw me for a loop.
Oh my god!
Gordon Reynolds.
For 2 seconds, I thought you were.
Nathan Fillion was Deadpool.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
so good.
Oh my god.
Hey, wait. Is that an unofficial 2 guys and a girl reunion?
Oh my god, you're right. You are absolutely right. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Go figure. Oh my god. Brent, your initial thoughts on this chef's kiss of a movie. Here we go.
I liked it. I had a great time. No, I'm just kidding. I had a great time.
Okay.
I called it. To me, this was like fan service. The movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody got everything they wanted out of this film, except for the people who were speculating on Dazzler #1 for the last 9 months. Unfortunately,
Dazzler.
there was no Taylor Swift. There was no Dazzler, and everybody's copies of Dazzler #1 are suddenly affordable right now because she was not in the movie. So hopefully you didn't buy it to peak. I think the only thing that was lacking was like it's not the best Deadpool movie, and I think the fight scenes got a little tiresome because they're the same thing over and over again. Deadpool versus Wolverine, claws and swords, and you got a little mixture of one thing in the very beginning in the desert. Then you have the van fight scene, which is the same thing. It's claws and swords in a smaller location, so it's a little bit different, but it goes on and on and on. And then you multiply that times 100 with the ending fight scene with the Deadpool core, and it's claws and swords and swords and swords and swords in a bus that you can't see. So it's a little bit bigger version of a van, and but I enjoyed that fight scene. But I literally was like, all right, when are we moving on? Because I've seen this again and again and again. Not I've seen this before in other Deadpool films, but literally the exact same film again and again and again.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my major complaint, is like not the best Deadpool movie, fan service the movie, and I could have used something else in the fight scenes, something new.
I mean,
I was personally hoping for more Greatest Showman, and that it would just break up into a dance scene.
Oh god.
my god. The needle drop in general that they threw in some Greatest Showman in there.
3 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, that bummed me out. I was hoping for more. I was hoping that like Wolverine would just sing it.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, probably an expensive needle drop.
Also, how about the fact that Sean Levy now is like Ryan Reynolds' personal director? Like he's now.
Yeah.
This is now like the third out of 4 movies that he's directed in recent memory. Well, The Atom Project, Free Guy, and Deadpool and Wolverine. He did a TV series, All the Light We Cannot See, in between there, and obviously he did some Stranger Things.
Oh, I watched All the Light We Cannot See like a few weeks ago. It's really nice. It's
nice.
sweet.
He's
It's
doing
really
more
sappy.
Stranger Things.
Also, I did not realize Sean Levy directed Real Steel, so he's directed Hugh Jackman before.
Mhm.
Real quick, have you guys seen the Hot Ones with Deadpool and Wolverine?
No.
I have. Yeah.
You should watch it. It's
Yeah.
really good. There's some insights into the process, especially when Ryan's dying of heat from the spiciness, and he's just talking about sticking to the core of the character and the emotional core of the story, as opposed to the cameos aren't as important as that core, because that's what connects the audience, and that's what really matters. Blah 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 blah. And as he's dying of like 1 million Scoville fried, buffalo wings.
It's about family.
Well,
Which can I just cut in and just quickly say that that family included Shatterstar, who actually died in Deadpool 2 and he hated.
All of them died in Deadpool 2. He brought them back at the end. That's the whole point. of that
No, he
movie.
said he wasn't going to bring him back.
Yeah.
and then he.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm perfectly fine with Shatterstar still existing in one way or another. My favorite was Puck. that if I'm remembering watching the damn movie correctly, that Puck was one of the ones there, and he tried to stop him from getting like his lines in order to get money in the movie. Like
the biker dude.
Yeah, the biker dude. I'm pretty sure his name was Puck.
Buck with a B.
Oh, it was Buck. Damn it.
Yeah,
Puck is
Buck.
the
I was gonna
little
say,
guy.
It wasn't Puck from
Buck?
Alpha Flight because we got that joke.
No, Buck is the guy that Vanessa grabbed by the balls in the first one. That's what it was.
All right. Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, another
is
thing.
the teleporter.
Yeah.
We also mentioned, they had all the X3 characters, which I realized in my nerdity kind of makes sense because technically X3 never happened because they rewrote it with Days of Future Past.
Yeah.
So they've been there a long time.
Yeah. What I will say is that made the most sense out of everything, as Kris said, that they were all there. I love that they got back almost everybody. Including bullshit Callisto. Like,
oh god, I saw.
Oh my god, yeah.
Deathstroke was there, wasn't she? I had somebody with long fingers.
Yeah, she was. It was all the same actors.
I don't know if it's Kelly Hugh. It definitely wasn't Vinnie Jones as Juggernaut.
I'm pretty sure it was. Let me see.
Bullseye was there as well.
Yep.
I think the only person from the X movies to come back was Ray Park and Aaron Stanford.
Yeah, it was Kelly Hugh. It was Kelly Hugh.
It was her.
What's his name?
Yeah.
Sabretooth came back. Tyler Mane.
Yeah, the first one.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
The good one.
The not charismatic one.
the one who only said "ah."
No, he said scream.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Well, talk about grave desecration and all that jazz. Like, what did we think about alcoholic Wolverine in this, and bringing back a character without bringing back a character, because that's the way the multiverse works. I thought they kind of executed it pretty damn well, because in a way they also gave him the part of the Old Man Logan story that Logan didn't have, which even though he wasn't mind controlled to kill the X-Men, it's essentially another Wolverine that was there for the death of the X-Men and feels like it's
his fault the X-Men died, and that's why doesn't want to be Wolverine anymore.
Didn't they show Old Man Logan? Wasn't that the guy that shotguns Deadpool?
Yes.
Yep. That is indeed that one. And
Farmer Old Man Logan.
And Earth Tone Wolverine with Hulk, that was great to throw that one.
Such a good,
great moment. I had to explain all these to my wife. She did not enjoy them as much as I did. Literally, Wolverine showed up on the X, and I went, "Oh!" And she looked at me like, "What is going on?" I'm like,
honestly, that
Mark Silvestri.
I feel like even if you don't know the reference, it's just funny to see Deadpool walking on these blood-covered skulls and then be like, slowly back away.
It's not you, it's me.
You're busy right now. I'll leave you.
He didn't even take him off the X. He just left him.
It was just so mean.
And
my wife later goes, "Was that the BDSM Wolverine?"
Yes. Just say yes.
I mean, and for that matter, and I'll just bring up the image of X-Men 251 just for reference sake of the Wolverine on a cross, which is
I put all these in the chat if you want to pull them. Some of these up.
Yep, but I'd say the Age of Apocalypse Wolverine is the one that made me the happiest, because
that was one I was not expecting. Yeah, that was good.
I know.
And the hair, they got the hair exactly right.
They did. Yeah, no, he had the sideburns just the way that I wanted them and everything, and missing the hand.
Why are you showing us Greg Land?
That's the first one that popped up. I'm sorry.
That's the one that Mr. Casina happened to show us. But yeah,
I know, and it makes me sad.
I know. But the costume was absolutely the way that I wanted it to be.
Oh, yeah.
I never thought that we would get an Age of Apocalypse live action, and this is as close as we're gonna get to it.
Now I want one.
We got Magic Poor Patch Wolverine.
Patch, motherfucker. Yes. God damn, that was fun.
And we got Cavalry.
Cavalry.
That
surprised the crap out of me. I was not expecting Cavill at all.
That had been a rumor for a while, and I
We'll treat you better, I promise.
That was like the one thing that kind of got spoiled for me before I got to the theater. I had heard the rumor.
I had heard that it was a rumor, but everything was a rumor, quite frankly.
Well, I think the rumor that I had heard was he was going to be Patch or something like that in it, and which he wasn't, which was fine.
Well, the main rumor that I heard going around, which didn't wind up materializing, and here's a absolutely legitimate legal photo of Henry Cavill as Calverine,
Which is what he's credited as in the credits. Says the Calverine, Henry Cavill.
That's what he calls him in the movie.
Yeah, absolutely. But I had heard that Ed Norton's Hulk was going to show up, and I'm kind of glad that he didn't, quite frankly, because like that would have been too much. Even for even for 2 seconds of it happening, it honestly wouldn't have made any sense, because like
Ed Norton's Hulk is MCU Hulk, though.
that's what I'm saying canonically. But like
Eric Bana should be there.
they were gonna it was gonna be his CGI basically, like his version of the
Hulk with the bowl cut.
Yes, the bowl cut Hulk. That's a good way of putting it.
Action figure Hulk.
They should have brought Eric Bana, so he's just like, "Hello, Logan, I'm Hulk."
They could have been Australian together.
Yes,
That's a
exactly.
Star Trek 2009 reference, by the way.
I got it. Yeah.
I didn't.
Thank you, Keith. I appreciate that. No, all the
I jumped up when Blade showed up. I literally sat forward in my
pretty cool,
seat.
too.
yeah, no.
I
Did
wanted him to
anybody
do the
else
sword
yell?
thing.
There was a missed opportunity with Blade, though. It's like no Hannibal King.
Mm,
They did
I was-
reference it, though, didn't they?
I was hoping he'd say the ice skating uphill. Some motherfuckers always got to
He
ice skate
did.
uphill.
You did.
He did?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, maybe I said it right after he said it, and that's why my memory's like, I said it, no, not him.
He
Okay.
even said the words. Some motherfuckers are still trying to.
Ice skate
Let's get uphill.
There will only be one Blade.
No, actually, you know what we needed? We needed vampire Pomeranians to take on Dawn.
Actually, we needed Triple H and what's her face to come back also.
Oh, Parker Posey.
Parker Posey to come back, please. Okay.
You could
You know
have
how
had,
some how
Wasn't
some
Dominic Purcell Dracula in one of these
Yeah, he
movies?
was.
Yeah, he
yes.
was. In,
He was. Two?
Blade 3.
Three.
Oh,
Yeah.
3, okay.
Wait, Brent-
They all
AKA Heat Wave, AKA Prison Break.
Triple H could have came back, and so could have Kevin Nash as the Russian. And
The Russian was in the scene. That was the guy, wasn't he, with the striped shirt?
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
the
it was-
Russian. But
I have
that
to
wasn't-
rewatch it.
Different actor.
The Kevin Nash, his knees click when he walks. So
Hey, I don't blame any actor for not coming back for the thing. I just was like, is that the guy from The Punisher? I couldn't remember his name, but
And although I'm still glad they did homage the best Punisher movie ever, though, the Ray sequence one with the fucking rocket launcher, rocket launching some guy randomly. It's so good.
I highly appreciated Ghost Rider's already dead, and so's the Punisher. Wait, which one?
There's been so many of them. Yeah.
Could you
I
imagine?
like Thomas Jane Punisher.
No.
if Dolph showed up then and
just
been like, I'm the Punisher.
Well, and did you see in the wreckage, or I mean, I could have been hallucinating this, but in the wreckage, I swore I saw Captain America's motorcycle, like
Yes.
the film motorcycle, like the crappy
The 70s one.
the 70s
Oh, I
one.
did not see that.
The red
It's
brown
possible.
one.
Yep. Oh,
You see the Fantastic Car also?
yes, I did see a Fantastic Car. Yep. Which makes sense because Johnny. So
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think this I might be ending up getting this on Blu-ray.
Wow.
Might.
Really shocking.
Are they still making them? Like that's I know
hope so, because
Sony is doing the distribution for Disney's Blu-rays at this point. Weirdly enough,
okay.
That's how few Blu-rays are being made in the United States.
The last Marvel one I got was Shang, for obvious reasons.
Yeah. Well, I want to touch on Mr. Paradox, otherwise known as Mr. Secession. Matthew McFadden. I thought he did a damn good job in this movie.
He did.
Yeah, like
He was
slimy
just
as fuck.
swarmy and greasy enough.
yeah. And he hammed it up when he needed to ham it up. He had presence. It all worked, and they utilized the TVA exceptionally well. Like those of you familiar with Loki would have been, even more familiar with it, especially with the guest appearances that happened on that end. With
P19.
Yeah, thank you. B19, thank you.
15.
15, sorry.
B15.
Even though she has a real name, and not that I can remember it, it kind of bugs me.
She's credited as B15 in the credits here on IMDb.
Yeah, which is awful. Like the whole point of Loki was like getting their identities back. I was like, really? Okay, now I gotta remember who she.
I think she chose that though, like to stay at the TVA and keep that B15 at.
Her name is Wunmi Mosaku.
That's the actress.
Yeah.
Yes.
The character I'm talking about. Hunter B15 had a real name.
Yes, B15 did have a real name, but until then, it's just going to be Bingo because B15.
Yeah.
She is great though. Like you may have only seen her in Loki, but I first saw her in Lovecraft Country.
I watched that.
In that. But she is Ruby in that show, and she's fucking awesome in that
Ruby
show.
was great. The rest of that show just kind of pissed me the fuck off.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
I like that show.
But
Verity
Willis.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
You and Verity.
Yeah, nice name.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a nice name.
I get it. Verity. Truth. Oh, that's ironic.
There you go. Did we all appreciate her macking on Peter?
Oh my God. Peter Pool.
Peter Pool. Peter.
Everybody's got a Peter.
Yeah, every Deadpool's got a Peter. That made me happy. It made me happy. You know, basically, Peter filled the role of Bob the Hydra agent in this particular Deadpool series. Even if they did technically have Bob in Deadpool 2, but not as a full-fledged character. So I like Peter as the sidekick and also best friend character in a lot of ways.
There's no Weasel in this movie though.
Thank God.
Yes, for very good reason. We're done with him. He's over. So,
have you ever thought about this idea, though, of these superhero movies? Like, all the superheroes can have different versions of themselves. Like, they look different, they act different, they have different features. Yeah. But, like, Peter, normal people like you and I are exactly the same in every universe.
Because we're NPCs, that's why.
Yeah. Nope. Yeah, that's true. I'm also curious why Happy Hogan was a lot more heavyset in his flashback than he was.
Okay, I have to ask this question because that confused the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Right. So, what universe does the main Deadpool movie take place in? Because
hold on.
Hold on. We start out with him interviewing for the Avengers with Happy Hogan, and apparently that's a thing that took place in the past.
Mm-hmm.
In some universe where
it's
also MCU.
No,
but then he goes and rescues all the Fox, like he has all these memories of the Fox characters in the Fox universe.
Well,
but we're in the MCU void. Like
he used Cable's time travel machine to go to the Prime universe, which is the 616. Yeah. So he went from the Fox universe to the main Marvel universe to beg for an Avengers job, and then he went back to the Fox universe to be a car salesman. The tricky part is
the actual canon of the movie is that because that was not clear at all.
Mm-hmm. Yes, because they offer him a job in the Prime universe, which is where the Avengers are. The Avengers aren't in any of the other. They're not in Fox universe because they never existed in the Fox universe.
That's what I did. That's what I didn't understand because he's back with his old buddies.
The continuity is definitely.
I know it's not important, but
no, it's fine because I had a concern too that I brought up with Ian, and I understand that the movie's not meant to be continuity solid. Is the fact that the Fox universe, they're saying that Logan, the events of Logan, were in the Fox universe, and that's why the Fox universe must die. It's going to wither away. Except that the events of Logan technically haven't happened yet.
And they're 4 years.
I was going to say
4 years away. They're 4 years away, right?
Yeah.
Well, and so every universe dies on its own because the Prime being dies eventually. Like everybody fucking dies. You can't have a universe without a Prime being that doesn't die.
It's a weird meta joke though. I like it though.
Anchor being, sorry.
Yeah, Mr. Paradox specifically says about anchor beings is that in some universes can continue on without them. Other universes, a character is so pivotal that essentially the universe falls apart because there is no X-Men without Wolverine because he's a guest star in every single book. So like there's no way
that universe doesn't have a past before Wolverine existed though. Like that Wolverine starts and that's where the branch starts.
No,
I like the branch.
Because how do you have a universe without an anchor being before the anchor being is born?
But that's
what creates the branch.
That's what creates the branch.
And the branch dies when you don't have him.
So think this way. Think this way. When you when a
I
plant
have a letter
grows,
from my HOA. I got to cut down tree branches this weekend. That reminds me.
when a plant grows, right, it goes to a certain point. It'll be even before all that happens. It keeps growing. Okay, when a certain point it dies, anything beyond that certain point ends with it.
Mhm.
So the time happens before Wolverine, all that stuff. So there's all their history that happens. Except when Wolverine dies, that branch dies with it. That's all.
Mhm.
I feel like there's a yoga class that could be taught to this theory.
Yes.
Different
I
poses.
also feel like we are three-dimensional beings trying to think about the fifth dimension or sixth dimension or some dimension we're not quite, grasping.
Yo, tipsyism.
Time is a wiggly wobbly ball of spaghetti.
Yeah, like the more science fiction I like, in part I'm just like, shit, there's so much I'm never going to fully understand.
Hey guys,
It's
do we have 5 minutes? Let me explain string theory in 5 minutes, guys. Okay.
I mean, I understood the time travel in Avengers Endgame.
I mean,
It's really simple.
yeah.
Okay, only because Marvel time travel makes the most sense. When you go back in time, you don't change time. You make a new timeline.
Yes.
Yeah.
True.
And the thing is, the reason why Cap could stay in the past is because that was supposed to happen in this timeline.
yes, that's true.
It was already going to happen. It's a predestination paradox. He just
And-
needed to get to the current day to go back in time.
Four words that you have to.
Actually,
4 words that you have to remember: wibbly, wobbly, timey, wimey.
Why?
Or it's all just a movie. So sit back and relax.
Yes, that too. La la la. Yeah, I think that the Laura X-23 stuff in general, because that's supposed to be happening in the future. While I did appreciate having her back, love Daphne Keane as an actress. I think, I'm thrilled that she got to reprise her role here, and that she was wearing the fucking sunglasses. That just made my day.
Yeah.
I did not realize how long ago Logan was until she showed up on screen. I was like, holy shit, that kid grew up.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, she's an adult. Oh Jesus. I was old.
She was in like 3 seasons of
His Dark Materials.
his Dark Materials in between.
And
that.
also the Acolyte
my-
too.
Yep.
when was Logan? 2017?
2015? Something like that.
2015? What
No.
the fuck?
17, I think.
2017? Yeah.
Hold on.
A long fucking time ago.
Yeah,
In the
27
before times.
years
Okay,
ago.
no, when you say that, I think a long ass fucking time ago in the town of Kickapoo.
Yeah, no, it's been 7 years, so it must have been awesome for her to be able to come back, because they had been talking about, before the whole Fox merger, they had been talking about potentially having an X-23 movie. They were potentially talking about continuing that franchise in one way or another, and moving forward with that. But she got to go back to the role and also have some really sweet moments with a different Logan, that kind of gave her some closure, and definitely gave this Logan closure in one way or another. So yeah,
an even more broken Logan too.
oh my God, yes,
Daphne Keane is 19. So
yeah,
that's
God.
how young she is. She was born in
God.
2005.
Oh
God.
god, that hurts. Oh,
She's almost enough to be old enough
Jamal's
to be my
like,
kid.
she's older than my kid.
when did X2 come out?
X2 was
2002.
2003. I was
okay.
working in the cinemas that summer.
Yeah, so
we had
no
X2.
X-Men
we had
came out in 2003.
X2 was in 2003, the same summer as T3, as Pirates 1. Gosh, there was some other movie I remember seeing all summer long. Seabiscuit and Finding Nemo all came
And
out the same
Derek-
summer.
That doesn't
Oh.
sound right.
and Daredevil.
Yeah,
came out-
man.
and
Daredevil came out in
X-Men,
February.
Oh my god.
2003?
Oh,
yeah,
Summer 2003.
X1 was
Wow.
2000. I remember that very specifically.
X-Men, the first X-Men movie was 2000. X2 was 2003. X-Men: The Last Stand was 2006.
2006. Okay. Yeah.
So Daphne Keane was 1 year old when the third X-Men movie came out.
Oh my god.
oh.
Yeah.
This just reminds me of having a conversation with my brother's stepdaughter, and she was like, "Oh, my friends are really into Evangelion, and I don't get it." And I'm like, "Nobody gets Evangelion. You know what? You should just watch the movies." I went, "You should watch the movies." Wait a minute, what year were you born again? And she's like, 2008. I said, "What year was she born in?" And she's like, 2008. And I'm like, the first one of those movies came out in 2007. Excuse me, like I was ready to just walk into the pool and drown myself at that point.
Let me cry
Welcome to my very average Twitch experience, because I talk about stuff to these Zoomers and they're like, "Oh my god, you're old," and I'm like, "Shut the fuck up."
took a field trip to a contractor, and I took a bunch of I took some new employees and what was a summer intern, and during the drive over, the summer intern, I thought she was like a junior or senior in college or something. She's like, "Oh no, I just finished my freshman year." This kid was 19. I was like, "Oh, I felt so old."
I want to remind you folks that we started this podcast on April 30th, 2006.
Mm-hmm.
22.
Yeah. So right around the time that X-Men 3 came out, that was when this podcast started. May 26, 2006 is when X-Men 3 came out. So we are slightly older than X-Men 3, and that was still only 1 year old.
Yeah, I like thinking about when I met you. You got to realize this is like signpost after signpost, because like I met Ian because I was talking about Alias, the comic book.
Yes.
Oh God.
And I was
my
on a bus with my friend, and I was telling her about Alias, and then Ian popped up from the seat in front of me to do a well, actually.
Oh,
no.
Oh yeah.
And the thing is, he kept doing it the entire ride because, as he likes to say, he hated the person he was sitting next to.
Oh yes, very much.
And I think what's really funny is I think we started talking about Powerpuff Girls, and I actually let you listen to my CD player because this was a 4-hour bus ride, so we had time to kill. So I'm like, this is like peak 2004. I feel like it's like Alias, Powerpuff Girls.
We were on our way to Anime Boston.
Anime Boston. The hot anime that year was Naruto. So
Oh God.
we are all old.
Yeah.
well, I don't even know if that even counts anymore because it's 2024. We're still watching Family Guy, The Simpsons, and Futurama.
Yeah, I started the new season today of Futurama.
I haven't started it yet. I'll have to. Thank you for reminding me that it's on. But
I will say they remembered that Bender is canonically Latino.
Yes.
Bender Rodriguez.
Yeah,
Jamal.
they go into it.
Yes, a reminder that King of the Hill is coming back soon. So
yeah, I know.
Dang it, Bobby.
Listen,
Nothing.
I'll tell you what.
Ever die.
and
Nothing dies.
Okay, I have a tacky joke for that. Well, unless you're Tom Petty or Brittany Murphy.
Oh.
Wah wah, or
the
the guy who voiced freaking King of the Hill.
Dale.
Yeah, Dale. Thank you. Yeah, Dale's dead too, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, I was going to say the thing is the reason I mentioned those two is because you remember that Lucky and Luann had a kid.
Yes.
And they haven't confirmed really what's going on with this new King of the Hill show, but everybody's like, it should be about them taking care of Lucky and Luann's kid because something happened to Lucky and Luann. Like, instead of recasting, just say something like maybe they were in a car accident, and that that's a setup for the show. That would be perfectly in tune with the show,
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Why would you do this?
Children.
Look how young
Me
you
and Chris
are.
at my wedding, y'all.
Oh,
2010.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
I remember meeting you and Amanda for the first time.
I was gonna say I'm looking up those
Oh, wait.
MegaCon photos.
yeah.
Oh,
But-
wait, right?
Yeah. At MegaCon. Yeah. It was 08. Yeah. It was 08.
We were driving to that hibachi place. That hibachi place was really good.
Ooh,
I
yeah.
love that place.
Yep. And Steak and Ale. I remember Steak and Ale.
Steak and Ale. Oh my God.
Steak and
Gone
Ale's
for
good
not
one.
forgotten.
I know.
Didn't we go to the motorcycle place one year? That's gone too.
Yeah, it's gone. That's way gone now, unfortunately.
Well, talking about how things never die. That is essentially the point of this movie. That even as the Fox universe dies, the Fox universe continues on. That by the time this movie is over, they've found a way to keep that particular timeline running, which means we're probably seeing these characters again in Secret Wars. Like, that much is a freaking given. Like,
Right.
there's no way in hell. Like, they would have allowed them to walk off into like the white shiny sunset if this was going to be the last appearance of Deadpool and Wolverine. Like, we're getting at least one more in one way or the other. But
No, he had to bring him back.
Give me a Daredevil Electro fight scene with Affleck, and
No.
give me Evanescence playing in the background. Beg.
I want to be honest, if they do another movie, I feel like it needs to be Deadpool and Spider-Man because we need to see him and his boyfriend.
Yes.
No, not a boyfriend.
Mhm.
Yes, we need to see that dynamic.
Let me
Finally.
let me not forget to also just bring up as much as possible that Pyro got to actually be Pyro in this movie. Finally, like Aaron Stanford has waited all these years to A, have a fucking costume, B, do something worthwhile, and C, just have some fun on screen. I don't think he ever really had the opportunity in the movies that he was in before this. So
Hey, he got to blow up some police cars.
yeah, good for him. Not a lot of action in those movies, unfortunately. Like there for X-Men movies, the ones that he was in particular, not a lot going on. Not a lot going on.
What do you mean they had?
He did have that fight scene with Iceman and X.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, X was still one of the best Nightcrawler scenes ever.
That is also
Oh,
that is also very true. Yeah, but
by the way,
yes, Raph, go ahead.
speaking of appearances, NSYNC actually made their second appearance in the X-Men universe because
Yeah,
when
yes, I said it
X2
earlier.
X-Men
Yeah.
United, Wolverine steals Cyclops' car and he turns on the radio. Well, no, he doesn't. Iceman does, and it starts playing "Bye Bye
No,
Bye."
Pyro does. Pyro's on the radio.
Oh, Pyro does.
Okay.
You want to have to make it tough. Just want to tell you,
Yeah, enough.
they were there.
Yeah, but no, Pyro didn't have anything to do in those other movies in general, and I'm glad he got some time here. But I kind of want to see Cassandra Nova again in one way or another. I know she's essentially written off in this movie, but they just did such a damn good job with her. Like the special effect of her putting her fingers through people's heads.
Oh God! Oh,
It was so good.
Yeah.
no, I did not like
So
that.
Straight from one panel of the comic book.
Mm-hmm.
That whole fingers through the eyes thing. Crazy.
Yeah, and they
It only ever appeared in one panel, and these guys read it and were like, "That's cool. Let's do that."
Yep,
Made her completely different from Charles too, which is what I really like too.
Oh,
Differentiation.
Listen to that 10 times.
wow.
Oh, did
Like-
not like that at all.
and just everything that she was able to pull off, like just character wise and personality wise, it was a full-fledged character in the screen time that they gave her. And even with the death scene and using that basically MacGuffin device to destroy the universe, I think she went out pretty well in the movie. And if they find a way to have a version of her come back, that would be great. But if not, at least we got what we got,
Can we talk about real quick though?
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman's abs.
Oh my
in this
god.
film.
Oh my god. Oh my
CGing him on that body. I'm like, I see what you did, guys. Well played.
I'm shocked that Emma Corrin didn't put their fingers through.
God.
That would have been like the ultimate kicker there. But
I mean, Hugh Jackman is single now, so she could have. We didn't see it.
But the fact that, like, okay, so he's wearing the mask. Oh, that's not his body. Okay, good job, guys.
Apparently, Sean Levy's on Twitter today saying it is really Hugh Jackman's abs.
yeah.
To which
Yeah.
I was like, I think there was a quarter crew video, and they were saying like, are Wolverine's arm CG when the trailer came out because it had like ripped off or something? And I was like, I don't know about that. Like, you can work out your arms, but I was like, maybe that's why he's wearing the suit finally this time, so he can keep his shirt on the whole time. And then, of course, they found a way for him to take his shirt off. Oh, poor Hugh Jackman, if he really did have to work out like that. Because that was one thing he said about being Wolverine, is that it was a pain in the ass to get in that shape every single time.
So when you watch the Hot Ones, you can tell that he's not used to eating normal people food because the way he eats those wings, it's like they're alien to him.
Oh yeah. Yeah. and he had kept up a fitness regime, but he had to bulk down to play the Music Man. And then once he decided that he was going to take this role, he then immediately had to go back into Wolverine mode and start doing the crazy ass diet that he does in order to get the abs back and become, jacked Wolverine again.
I just can't wait to be 80 and to watch documentaries about these old actors who, like him, like Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale, who did crazy shit with their weight all the time, and who are then having all these health problems from bouncing their weight back and forth so long, and just be like, I'm so glad I wasn't an actor in the 2000s.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Bill, I think Bill went on record before saying that he had like massive complications going from Machinist to Batman Begins.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and then he went back to normal, and then he gained a bunch of weight for Dick Cheney and all that other crap. Like, it's a lot.
Yeah. So Blade having as much screen time as he did in this movie made me happy. Gambit not being able to understand a word that he said made me very, very, very happy.
They call me the Gambit.
I loved it so much.
Yeah, not they call me Gambit. They call me the Gambit.
Like
I'm the Gambit.
The article's important, guys.
I'm sorry, Sunshine, but who is your dialect coach?
I was also beyond glad that Leslie Uggams got as much screen time as she did.
Oh yeah.
Blind Al is one of the best characters in the entire Deadpool franchise, and the whole back and forth about how they're not allowed to talk about cocaine because of Feige was just dynamite. Oh man. Overall, outside of Liefeld's just feet, I think that one of my favorite moments in the entire film was them jumping through the Doctor Strange portal, because that was an excellent device to make it work,
Right.
and also it could have easily been one of the Doctor Stranges from Multiverse of Madness, quite frankly.
Right.
With all the shit that was going on in that he wound up with the the time turner or whatever the hell you want to call it.
It doesn't even need to be
Ring.
Doctor Strange. He just assumes Doctor Strange because Doctor Strange is the most famous user of the
Right. All those guys have that.
Right.
Yeah. Could have been
Sling
anybody.
ring, is that what they call them?
Yes.
Could have gotten it off a version of Madison, for fuck's sake.
Longer.
With 2 D's, and they're not where you think.
Madison with a Y and 2 N's. They're not where you think.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing.
President
I've gotta
reference.
rewatch.
She needs to be in. She needs to be in a movie. I mean,
She
it could be a
really does.
Deadpool movie. She would be fit perfectly in a Deadpool
Oh god,
movie.
she would be so great in a Deadpool movie.
Oh my god!
No,
And
I want them to do season 2 of She-Hulk.
So do I.
She is Jen's secretary.
Oh god, she's the intern. Oh no.
that'd be amazing. That'd be beyond amazing. I'd be
Yeah.
completely down for that. And
That would be web of.
I think She-Hulk deserves a season 2. Quite frankly,
So
I
do I.
really enjoyed that season almost
Didn't
entirely.
have they said anything about that recently? I feel like they did.
There was some talk online, but there's been no official word.
Yeah.
So, and I think, and honestly, I kind of feel like part of that maybe because of Tatiana's schedule. as
Quite
well.
possibly.
You think people lost their shit with the Snyder Bros. Lost their shit with the DCU stuff? Well, just wait till they announce who the actual Avengers are for Avengers 5 and 6, and they realize they're stuck with, all these people from the TV shows, She-Hulk and Shang-Chi. The Avengers have gone woke, bro.
Oh,
I didn't ask for
God.
multicultural friends.
Yeah, right, sure. It's not like the Avengers haven't always been that, which is essentially
Right.
so whatever. Any other thoughts on the Deadpool movie that we may have missed before we move on to a final topic that is related to Wolverine that we're definitely going to have to discuss in one way or another.
I mean, I said it was a lovely send off to all these older movies that, let's be honest, not all of them are good, but we do have soft spots for them, as evidenced by some of the things we've talked about during this recording, like the Vampire Pomeranians.
Oh yeah.
Like
We have to read Dono's comments.
Yeah, I have them right here.
oh,
Okay. All right. Good. Let me
Since you kicked him off.
I did not kick him off. That's crazy.
You-
He sacrificed
You
himself
exiled
for the
them off
sake
this
of the
island.
universe and the episode.
Oh my God.
Apparently.
Ian, how much did it cost you? Everything.
Everything. All right.
I rewatched that clip today because I think it was Vito DeSante pointed out he was
Yeah.
watching what you call Avengers Affinity War, and it still sticks in his craw that Sam was by himself when he got dusted. And I was like, I had to point out, I said, but Rhodey was looking for him. And that's actually what made it like super sad. Is like Rhodey's calling out his name. He's seconds away from finding him. And, so I was like, I was rewatching that scene today because of Vito. So hi, Vito, you're probably not listening to this.
All right, let me get Dono's comments in here real quick. To briefly summarize his Deadpool and Wolverine thoughts, he enjoyed it, despite trepidations considering, well, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to stop trying to say him and all that. I'm just going to say it in his words. Despite my trepidations considering how I've turned on the Fox X-Men films series after X-Men 97, I like this one well enough. Consistently funny, and the comic book references bowled me over. Hugh Jackman actually gives my personal favorite performance as Wolvie from a comic book fan standpoint, whether it be the various costumes or the mask. We didn't even talk about the fucking mask. Oh my god!
That was my favorite moment of the movie, was him pulling the mask on.
Oh my!
Bar none.
So you
Fuck
think
the cameos.
It's a nice mask, but it does not work for me without the rest of the costume. Like, it looks weird with the cropped sleeves to me. When he had the full thing, it probably would have looked a lot better.
Yeah. Part of me also. Oh no! Part of me also wishes we'd actually been able to see his eyes, but I understand why we didn't. But that's okay.
Right.
All right, here we go. Which looked amazing when they were in the sewer going out to Cassandra Nova. Him giving Deadpool the reason you suck speech was my favorite scene. That's also excellent. Favorite cameo, Blade. Duh. I also liked how the ending was the equal and opposite of Logan, because we've already seen a tragic sacrifice. This Wolverine gets a happy ending, and Ryan Reynolds remains one of the best cast comic book characters of all time. I like the trilogy all equally. Looking forward to hearing everyone's thoughts on Downey Doom, and that's Donovan. Also, currently watching Cape Crusader. Currently starting episode 3. We'll talk about that next time we all get together. But yeah, I definitely agree with him that the speech was like pitch perfect. It was absolutely what we needed, and he meant it because it was all right. Yeah, no, good times. What were we all? I mean, if given a chance of rating it out of 5, what do you think? What do you think we'd give this one? Anybody?
4.
I'd give it a 4.
Yeah, 4. Solid 4.
I'd give it a solid 4. I think out of the Deadpool movies, I'd give it a 5 personally.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
it was the best one.
It's the best Deadpool movie for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like 1 and 2 a little bit better than this one.
As a Marvel, as among the Marvel movies, I definitely put it in the higher end of Marvel superhero movies.
It gets a 4 out of 5. It would have gotten a 5 out of 5 had they found a way for Colossus to show up at the right time to do a fastball special.
Oh, missed opportunity.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah, that would have just been perfect.
We did get that in X3 technically.
I've always wanted to try this.
It was also X3, so it doesn't exactly count X3.
Right.
Into
Yeah.
the mist of at a Sentinel that we didn't see. So
Making a strike.
there's a lot of qualifiers there.
Yeah. Yep.
I have to see it again, but I think I'm like 4.5 territory.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know where I'm going to end up.
I
may
may
really lock in.
end up at 4.5 after tomorrow, to be honest with you, because I have a feeling I'm not going to enjoy it any less the second time that I see it. I'm probably going to enjoy it even more. So
It's
great.
my second favorite post Endgame movie. There's no way it could be number 1 because nothing can beat number 1.
Shang-Chi?
And nothing ever. Yes. You want me to put a movie over Shang-Chi? No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do it. You want me to tell you that the greatest superhero movie of all time isn't Superman a movie? I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
I'm not going to do that.
That's good.
Did I enjoy Infinity War and Endgame more? Sure, they were fun as hell. But do you want me to actually admit that I put it as my favorite superhero movie before Superman movie? No, I'm not going to do it.
How many of you have already seen James Gunn's Superman already and counting it as the greatest movie of all time? Are you a time traveler?
I haven't seen it yet, so I can't. So once I've seen
It's called
bump
Superman. You're
Superman
called
the movie.
Superman the movie, the greatest
Actually-
film of all time.
But here's the thing: when I see it, it'll either bump the Christopher Reeve movie or it'll go into number 2 automatically.
Right.
Are you doing
I
some
just don't know
timey
yet.
wobbly bullshit?
I wish. I wish.
Excuse
No,
me.
Raph is like me. We are on
I know.
pins and
Fucking with
needles.
Oh yeah.
And
They should have kept it Superman Legacy. Damn it!
I'm so giddy. I can't wait.
The 70s movie is called Superman the movie. The new movie is just called Superman. There's a big difference.
Actually, it's called Superman the Motion Picture. Was the first one. Thank you very much.
Yes, Superman the motion picture. Yes.
No, it's Superman the movie. Star Trek.
So
is
I
the
can make
motion
a
picture.
crazy, crappy YouTube short and call it Superman the movie, and it will actually be Raph's favorite film of all time. Then,
Yes.
It'll be my favorite YouTube video.
since he can't
And-
get the title straight of his
Just
own
because you do it,
favorite.
I will put it on my laptop and leave it on for overnight and just have it repeat so you can get all those views.
I got a T-shirt. I'll do it.
Yeah, hey, let's do it.
all the how it should have ended with Superman and Batman at the diner are his favorite YouTube.
Oh my god, I love those so much. You have no idea.
'Cause I'm Batman.
So you're saying all you did was talk to him about
Yeah.
your mothers?
Yeah.
Oh, they showed all those how it should have ended for Deadpool in the lead up at Alamo, and that made me very
I'm going to Alamo.
nice.
I need to go to Alamo.
Oh, you're gonna end this episode on a dour note, Ian. That's where you're going.
Yes, I am.
Ugh.
Wolverine
I figured out what he's talking about.
Wolverine co-creator Roy Thomas on his Deadpool and Wolverine credit. My name should.
Sorry, so what'd you say? Did you just
Roy
call
Thomas.
this guy a co-creator?
Yes,
What?
exactly. Yes.
What'd you say?
What I say is this bullshit. That's what I say. This is a sore spot for pretty much all of us and the comic community at large, because the actual creators of Wolverine can't talk for themselves because they're dead. And shockingly, Roy Thomas waited until that happened to suddenly get himself as a co-creator, as an editor. And
Okay, so I have one question to ask.
yes,
Didn't we like Roy Thomas before he started this bullshit, or was he already like? Okay, maybe this is more important towards Jamal. In the comics community, did Roy Thomas have a bad reputation before this Wolverine stuff started?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's a notorious asshole.
Yeah, especially with All Stars Watch and stuff. He's not a great
And-
person.
My impression of him wasn't terrible, I guess, because I haven't researched a whole bunch of shit either. But wasn't he the guy doing like Alter Ego and all this other stuff 20 years ago?
well, yeah,
No, he wasn't attached to Alter Ego. He was
No, sorry. Didn't back issue? Didn't he have one of those magazines or no?
no.
no, he didn't.
No. He
Okay,
wasn't
maybe
involved in any
sorry.
of those magazines. No. Okay, so if you've ever read any of the old New Gods comics, particularly with Funky Flashman, who is Stan Lee,
Yes,
Jack Kirby made fun of. There was a character called Roy Boy, who
Yeah.
was Funky Flashman's sidekick. That's Roy Thomas.
Yeah.
And Roy Thomas has been notoriously known for taking credit for things that he wasn't involved with, rewriting his personal history and his overall involvement in the early comics industry. Now, this does not mean that Roy Thomas has not had a long and lengthy career in
No, 'cause
comics
of course
as a writer and
Yeah.
an editor, but he has never had the greatest reputation it's within like creators in the industry. And the more people that I talk to, the more that sort of has come out recently. My personal opinion of all this, and I have stated this publicly, is it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Editors don't get creator credit.
no,
That's just not. Look, you're an editor at a comic book company. You already probably have a 401k. You got a steady salary. If you're Tom Brevoort or somebody in that in that line, you've literally been with the company your entire adult life. Creators get so little in this industry overall.
Absolutely.
The only real equity that we have is in the characters that we create, the characters that we have a hand in creating. 90% of them may never have any legs outside of the comics themselves. Every once in a while, a character breaks through to other media. And even that's not even guaranteed. So for Roy Thomas to wait until John Romita has passed, Lynn Wayne has passed, Herb Trimpe has passed, to pull this bullshit.
Yeah.
It's unconscionable. It really is. It's disgusting.
Like, it's not like before this there's written evidence of Len Wein being like, oh yeah, no, I'm so grateful for Roy Thomas for coming up to me one day and being like, Wolverine. And then suddenly I decided, that'd be a great character for me to write into Incredible. Right. There's not been any documented evidence whatsoever that Roy Thomas was anything but an editor in this situation. And sure, the editor is part of the process. We're not saying that he's not. He could have very easily thrown in some ideas and concepts in there, but the dude in the whisker mask that showed up in Incredible Hulk is not the Wolverine that we eventually got. That's a given. He was, a character that was introduced, but he was a character that was written by Len Wein and drawn by John Romita. It sets a horrible precedent, horrible precedent if you're suddenly going to be, and the editor gets that credit too.
Right.
Yeah. I feel like this is worse than what Stan did.
It is.
At least Stan, he was involved in the process as a writer.
Right.
The Marvel method is like kind of like a wonky thing, I guess, in terms of crediting people. But he wrote the basic idea, he handed it to his artist, and then he wrote the dialogue. I mean, that's still writing. As an editor, you're just supposed to go like, okay, you have an idea. Okay, we're gonna do this with the Hulk. Okay, you want to introduce a character? We want to introduce a character. Okay, that sounds good. That's good. What about this? What about this? Okay, go ahead and do it. That's it. That's it.
It's also worth remembering editing in the 60s is not going to be like it was in the 70s, 80s, 90s. Right. The job has changed. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Jamal.
Oh no, I was going to say that even in like the interviews that I have been able to track down up until maybe I want to say 5 years ago, before Len's passing, like even in the interviews, like Thomas's contribution at most was, let's have a character called Wolverine and let's make him Canadian.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
Literally everything.
Now he's claiming his personality sprang from my head and I directed all of this and I told John Romita how to design the costume and it's disgusting. It really is.
Reading the article, I mean that original headline that I mentioned is definitely clickbait. Because when you read the article, he's clearly trying to be fun about it. He's not doing a good job saying like, oh yeah, and maybe my name should have came first, but plenty of people whose names came last, like Lee and Kirby were all good, and it's. It's Lennon and McCartney, not McCartney and Lennon, right? So everything's all great and good, but when you read his actual words, though, it sounds like an 80-year-old guy who's just doing his best to try to go out with an extra credit, and I feel bad, but at the same time, I feel worse for those who are no longer with us that don't get to actually speak up for themselves. Like, I get that Roy Thomas is 82 years old, but stay in your lane. You created plenty of characters other than Wolverine. You don't have to go after this one. Like, just let it be, dude. Let it be. That's where I'll leave it.
I wonder who was the slimy lawyer that was behind all the family disputes for all the older characters. Is that guy also Roy Thomas's lawyer?
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm pretty sure it's a different lawyer. I think he's even mentioned here. A very special and personal thanks to my friend in media. Well, this is the media rep. John Cimino is mentioned here. Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, who has backed the little Wolverine co-creditor notion for the past decade. And
do you guys remember John Cimino?
I do not.
He used to.
I know the name.
He used to be involved with Keith Gleason back in the day.
Okay.
When they were doing their web show.
Oh shit.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. No, see, I
remember they were doing that web show Alter Ego. So he was like one of the.
That's where you're probably thinking Alter Ego, Brent. By the way.
I thought there was some old Marvel dude that was in charge of those retro magazines that were
No, you're the guy
about.
the guy who was in charge of the magazines is an old DC dude named Michael Urie.
Yeah,
Michael Urie. Yep.
Sorry, I never read it.
I read it. I like it. Okay, good little history there.
I think I got one issue of back issue from Bob Bretal in a Christmas exchange once, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I just, look, before we know it, all of the old creators are going to be gone, and it's going to be harder and harder to verify any of this shit. And people can say whatever the hell they want, and you're either going to get it by or not. I just feel like, and I mean, Jamal, we've talked about this, not on the show, but in our chat thread or whatnot. Shame on Marvel for honestly letting this happen. And shame on the powers that be for essentially bending the knee and being like, yeah, sure, you can take some credit for this. So that's kind of where it all goes to. It's like Roy Thomas can say what he wants to say. It was up to Marvel whether or not they were going to be like, okay, sure, buddy, whatever you want. And now he has a creator credit that I don't think he ever actually really deserved. So that's that.
No, I agree.
Yep.
Shame on Hollywood Reporter for giving him a fucking platform.
Yeah. They
should know better.
They want clicks, man. That's all they want.
They created that fucking headline out of it, though. That's for sure.
Yeah. You're damn right. You're damn right they did. All right. I think that's about it. We could talk actual comic books next episode as we're approaching the 3-hour-ish mark on this episode. So I think that's about it. And I will have watched Cape Crusader by the next time that we all gather, and we can definitely talk further about that when the time comes. But Jamal, just quick initial thoughts you want to throw out there real quick? I mean, you've watched like 8 episodes, so like it's good shit.
It's good. It's different. You can't compare it to Batman the Animated Series. It's its own thing. Hamish Linklater is a great Batman. His Batman is really, he's kind of a dick. Like Bruce, well, it's a younger Batman. He's slightly colder in his approach, but you see like the more caring side come through later in episodes. So
nice.
So definitely worth a watch.
All right, I will 100% do that. Just like I need to watch Kite Man, hell yeah. So those are my 2 DC animateds that need to happen at some point because Kite Man, hell yeah, woo!
I still need to finish My Life with Superman.
So do I.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
It's
really
breezy. It's fun.
I finished season 1. I got to work on season 2.
It's so popcorn. It's so good.
And they announced at San Diego Comic-Con that they're introducing Superboy in season 3. So I can't freaking wait for that.
John or Con?
Connor. L.
I have to catch up on Man and Lois.
Oh yeah.
I'm so behind.
I gotta catch up on that
season
too.
3 to watch.
Yep.
I'm on. I think I finished season 2. What was season 2? Was that no? Season 1 was the
Zod.
Kryptonians, right? Season 2 is Zod. Okay, I'm halfway through season 2.
Okay. Yeah. And
No. Season 2 had Bizarro in it too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I remember that.
Season 2 had Bizarro / Doomsday, basically. Like that was like a whole thing.
No, I think Doomsday's in 3.
Well, Doomsday's in the current Doomsday's coming back.
They tease Doomsday, and then it turns out to be Bizarro. That's what that was like the whole like major twist. Because they even do like the booming fist, boom, boom, boom thing in season 2, and then it turns out to be Bizarro. So like that.
See, the new season preview just showed a fight in space between Doomsday and Superman.
No, I think we ended season 3 with Doomsday as like a finale thing. So
Yeah.
I'm not surprised that he continues in 4.
And this is the last season, right? For sure,
Yes,
for sure.
that's the 4, the last one.
This is indeed the last season. Yep, that is definitely the case. All right, peeps. So that is that with that. So I will go around the table here and let everybody promote their stuff. So Raph, we will start with you, sir. Let people know where they can find you.
Okay. All my socials are Raph does stuff. RAPH does DOES stuff. STUFF. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, X, Blue Sky. I do have a Twitch. I haven't streamed in 2 weeks because I just started a new job and I am so fucking tired. I don't have any energy to stream right now, but I probably will eventually.
That's fair.
So yeah, look out for that. And I also need to figure out my schedule. I don't have a set schedule, so. Oh,
Fair enough.
that's it.
Cool. Brandon.
You can find me most social medias also at the Dabadon. I believe my Twitch is Atomic Games. I gotta remember that one. But
it is.
Yeah, Atomic Games is my Twitch. Like Raph, also, I'm trying to get back into streaming again. Also, the last 2 weeks I've been getting my ass kicked at work, so hooray! But on there, I game, I chat, I talk. It's just a fun time. I will be at Ranger Station, New Jersey, doing a panel there also in September.
Excellent.
And I'll be hitting the con circuit, just walking around for Baltimore and maybe Terrificon if I can swing it this year. Probably not, though.
All right. Fair enough. Kris.
I mean, yeah, I've always been at Lampane at pretty much all the social sites. I mean, yeah, the cons I'm going to be at, I will be at FlameCon in a few weeks. I believe, Ian, you said you're missing that because you suck.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, but we will both be at PAX Unplugged in December, and of course
I
at
will
New
be
York
too.
Comic-Con.
So, yeah, PAX Unplugged.
And I'll probably be at Anime NYC for a little bit too.
Oh yeah, I forgot that I should probably apply for a press badge.
Yes, you should.
I did get approved for NYCC.
Excellent.
So,
Excellent. Good to hear.
I haven't used up all my press, powers yet. I haven't pissed them all away.
Job well
You
done.
can also give tours now.
Oh yes, I am now a licensed New York City tour guide. So if you want me to lead you a tour, I can do that. You just have to, pay me.
Yes. That is a requisite. That is a requirement in general.
I mean, we could try doing something. Oh, yeah, I could say we could try doing something during New York Comic Con. Somebody wanted to do like comic themed tours. I will offer good rates because I'm just an idiot who doesn't know my worth. Also, I would like if Comic Timing fans please participate in Read Comics in Public Day, which I believe is August 28th.
Ooh, yeah.
We'll see about organizing something local. Just, maybe we'll meet in front of the library and just whip out our Supermans and just read them on the front steps of the main 42nd Street Library or something.
I work
You
near
could
there.
check out a comic book from the library and read it in front of the library.
That is true.
Technically, there's 2 libraries. You have to go to the one across the street to check out the book if you want to read it in front of the library.
Not the one where Uncle Ben dies, because that one's actually a research library.
Yes, it is.
I think.
As we learned
Yes.
in Ghostbusters, yes, that is.
For a short time, they had the other library inside there, but that was when they were renovating the building, and then they
Right.
Yeah, next time you're in New York, Brent, go visit the main 42nd Street Library, but then go across the street to the circulating library. They have a roof deck, so you can get some nice photos and you can just chillax. And the bathrooms are fucking clean.
Absolutely. And Jamal came back on just in time to promote his shit.
Yay! So I have in stores The Wrong Earth, Dead Ringers #3. #4 will be coming out very, very soon. Don't have an exact date for that yet. Dudley Datsun and the Forever Machine is in stores. The trade paperback will be out in October. I am told the trade paperback for White, the series that I do with Quasi Sadrifo and Tim Smith the third, will be coming out soon, probably around the time New York Comic Con rolls around, so October as well. And then the collected Wrong Earth Dead Ringers will be out in February of 2025. And then let's see, con-wise, I'm going to Tucson Comic Con August 30th to September 2nd. I will be at Baltimore Comic Con from the 20th to the 22nd, and I will be at New York Comic Con.
Yay!
So that is my fall.
Excellent.
Those are my fall. And then, my current and future students will see me in September at the School of Visual Arts.
I believe that would be Days of Future Students. That's
Days of Future Students. Yes.
Just to tie it back. Nicely done. All right, and Mr. Casina.
BK's Bullets, YouTube.
Yeah.
Join the Comic Timing Fans Facebook group.
Yes.
Fucking active.
Yes.
I love it.
We are very damn well active at this point. We're up to
my only complaint as an admin of that fucking group is you get a notification of a new post and you want to go look at it, and it takes you to the Facebook Comic Timing Fans administrator page.
I know.
And so when you comment on something, it shows up as Comic Timing Podcast says. I'm like, no, damn it, I want to say Brent Casina. So if you see something that's a little snarky, that's probably me, and that's why.
Well, you can always switch it back to Brent Casina. And
I know, but it's so frustrating. I just want that one little change.
I know.
One little change.
158 members.
The page is part of the fan group. I'm part of the fan group.
No.
You're all part of the fan group. It's ugh.
I should put my page in there and then forget which one I'm commenting from also.
Yep. But yeah, 158 members, as I said, at the moment of the Comic Timing Fan Group. Any of you listening to this who are on Facebook and want to join in on it, by all means, we are happy to have you. And it's a nice, thriving group and good times to be had by all over there. And now I will play the closing music and we will wrap this sucker up. And hopefully I will get everything that I'm saying right. Most of the time I am now, but it's still a lot to say. Here we go. All right. Well, the email address.
You're the one that wrote it.
I know. Email address, comictiming@gmail.com. Facebook.com/comic timing for the main Facebook site. And, of course, the Comic Timing Fans group, as previously mentioned, you can find there as well. We are on Instagram as Comic Timing Podcast. We are on Twitter, not X, as Comic Timing Pod. We are on Blue Sky as just Comic Timing. We are on Threads as Comic Timing Podcast. YouTube as Comic Timing Podcast. And I think that's everything. I didn't
like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe to all of those things. And as always, there's always time for comics. Bub, 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 and bub.
Somebody hit him.
Wow! True
Did
call.
they say Bub in the movie?
Yes,
a lot
plenty
of
of times.
A lot
Plenty
of
of
times.
He did.
So many times.